You did?
Yeah, I've just
I-
gone
I-
live.
I
I don't
better
have
bring
any
up.
music.
Ah,
I need to
okay.
go find better music because I feel like I'm. If you guys checked the YouTubes, we've had the occasional copyright strike.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
From the music or?
Yeah, I think some of the copyright-free music that I'm using, like occasionally they put one track in there that's not.
Oh, it still gets claimed against?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yep.
that we're earning any money from it yet. So, it's
No.
not the end of the world.
No.
You
Oh, there we
know.
go.
Wait, you need music
Eh.
That's perfect. Let me find some
Oh
slack
my god,
beats.
so good.
that fish insert is brilliant.
Isn't it? It looks so great thinking.
That
looks so
fish
good.
insert is amazing.
The fish insert, my, Discord icon. It matches. It works.
Fish in jar.
Copyright-free adventure music.
Oh wait, they can hear me. I better shut up.
Nah, it's okay. For now. Oh my god, that clip you got of me, Quinn. I was dying.
I could have kept that going for so much longer because you didn't stop.
I kept going.
It was amazing, but it's kind of like, no, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's enough. I got kind of the moments that I wanted, which was you turning away, looking disappointed in yourself, and then straight back. It was great.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
So
It was
bad.
towards the end of her stream last night where I think she was starting to get a little wonky. Hello, Ned. How many people are getting murdered today? I think that depends on how ragey the barbarian gets.
I'm the sorcerer, and I'll probably die.
Oh god, I was wearing my Run D&D jersey earlier today, but it's too
really?
warm. Yeah, it's too warm while I'm also wearing my glorious robe.
I forgot all my D&D dice. They're so heavy.
That must be a nice problem to have.
What, to have a lot of dice?
I just need another dice tray. 'cause I
One
have-
bag.
Bonk.
2 bag.
Jesus, the thumps are like an anvil falling on a cartoon bunny or something.
Aeon Craft Dice 1.
I need to get myself some Aeon dice. That's what I
Aeon
actually.
Craft Dice 2.
It was nice to see him streaming again last night as well.
3D. Printed. 3D printed. This
Wait,
is,
shoot, did I miss an Aeon stream?
This is Jacinda. This is Tina Fey.
For a short one last night, he finally got one of his molds working, so he decided to do a little bit of a stream for one set. So he's only going for like an hour and a quarter.
Here's your work schedule.
Yeah, plus he's been busy with other things,
Oh yeah, understandable.
which yeah goes for a lot of us. So.
Yeah.
That
Good to
is
hear
an
you. You're
awesome
doing better,
plan.
Quinn. So
Great, isn't it? I'm so glad.
better
I
with
had
the
it.
asterisk.
It kept going. It kept going, but I got the parts that I wanted, and Feru came and saved that exactly the moments I wanted to. It's like it that encapsulated that entire like 4 or 5 minutes of Bex just going. It was glorious.
I don't know what wall I hit last night.
You hit a wall.
I did.
It was very recognizable that you hit that wall.
I was like, woo! I gotta go. I don't know how to leave.
It's like I was having the joke with Aeon when I was in his stream, going, "Oh, is Bex still going?" It's kind of like, yeah, just one more dungeon, boss. She's just doing just one more dungeon. While you were in the middle of the dungeon, and then we came back, and it's like 1 hour later. Yes.
But I was excited because the internet wasn't dying. So
Yeah,
That's
you had
something.
like 1 or 2 hiccups, which was amazing, and that was a.
Just
Fingers
one
crossed
more
if it doesn't
turn,
happen
sire.
today.
But yes, hello chat.
Hi, Shapoopies. Hello, Absolute Nerd.
Poopies, Hitty, nerd.
Hi, Hitty.
Good to see you.
I've missed you,
It's
Hitty.
been a month since we've done some D&D.
Is it actually?
Well, yeah, like I say, I got COVID like 2 to 3 days after we had our last
true.
session. I've been offline basically since then.
Wow.
But yeah, we have We have no Vander with us today. He is currently moving house into his new place. Exciting.
Hence why his character is grayed out and you have a fish to look at.
And we have a fish
instead.
screen, and we actually have somebody else in chat with us at the moment who might be piping up from time to time.
Yeah.
So one of our resident Texans, the almighty Cass and Sedan. Introduce
free to
yourself,
shout
Sedan.
yourself
Interruptions
out.
to a minimum.
Um,
I will absolutely do that because you can.
Yeah, Cassie, you shout yourself out. Oh hell yeah.
so we're gonna go for a little bit. I don't know how much we'll get done because I'm still very tired and recovering. And Bex's internet because I like to curse things.
It likes to do it in 2-hour bursts now. So we'll see what happens.
Also, I will unfortunately be coughing from time to time. I'll try to keep it to a minimum as much as humanly possible.
Alright. Who in
Okay.
chat wants to do a recap of last time? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, the thing
Imagine
that was
making them do
that
it.
was my very next question. It wasn't going to be chat. It was going to be who wants to do a recap of last time? Because last time I did the recap. Somebody else can do it this time.
I think Frey
Your
did.
barbarian got very, very ragey.
That's very true.
Little bit.
Little bit.
Little bit. Excuse me.
You don't want to do it. You know? No? Next?
Oh,
You-
Nate,
you don't
note
wanna-
taker, our note taker. Thank you for speaking up.
Alright.
I did it last time. Bex is doing it this time, which means next time it's somebody else.
No, I'll do this one. I'll do this one because this had a lot of me going really mad.
Yeah, share and
Okay,
share.
sure.
alike, I
You
think
go-
is the way
you
we're
go.
going to go with the recaps from now on.
You go if you want to. You can leave your friends
Alrighty.
behind.
Ready, team. We finally left that city. Okay, after Manda really saw what those guys wanted and said no. So that's going to make things a little awkward for us, the party. That is with said Manda. But that's okay because we're finally out of the city, so that shouldn't come back to bite us too quickly. So we are traveling, and as you do traveling along, you see what's up ahead and you beat it head on. And us, you're liable, Vixen. Oh God, I don't want to.
Thank you for that, Hickson. Eddie, we love it.
So we finally left, much to Nofret's pleasure. She was begging to leave the city. Literally, she was walking out without us if we didn't actually do it then. But we're doing really well. We saw there were some bandits ahead. And being the little warriors we are, we decided to check them out and discovered it as old tribe mates. Not our tribe. The Karakshirok tribe, which is known for bloodthirsty hunting downings, and they're pretty vicious, but not this vicious and not this animalistic. So there have been parts that they now look a little more furry than they used to, and unfortunately it triggered something in Sekhet. A lot of memories of having met them on the sands before and knowing that it's them or her group that are going to die. Because this particular tribe, just if anyone escapes, will come back and hunt you down. The last blood is dropped. So, with much brutality, there was dispatching of them. Unfortunately, they had a few tricks up their sleeves, like being able to regen and heal and not really feel Sekhet's blows. So she got creative and used their healing to pin them down with lances and javelins, just to hold them still, see what's going on. And we did beat them in the end. Didn't get much more information out of them. We are probably going to look into their leader a bit later because he's been doing things that have made them more furry and robust, which is not great news for anyone.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. But yes, and we are on our way to a little fisherman's tribe that's close to where the spiders are. which is what we're actually out here for. Not that we've actually come close to getting near them. But that's my recap. If I
Look,
missed
you-
it,
we left
You-
Fishy.
you-
That was
You're a
huge.
full day and a half closer than what you were at the start of last session, so you know.
We also ceremoniously made a pyre to the villagers that had been killed
Yes.
at the end there.
Yeah.
And then we basically spat on everyone else.
Because I'll also make a note. They use different tactics to what you've seen them use before, Sekit. But
yeah, that has some upgrades.
your particular barbarian rage that you used completely neutered most of their tactics.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have a barbarian who's a chaotic, wild magic path, which is a lot of fun to play, guys. And every time she rages, I get to roll a dice, and that
Random
dictates what
magical
kind
effect.
of rage she has.
Yep.
And this particular one was kind of a difficult terrain that went with her. And so these guys who use pack tactics to six, and fast moving and all that fun stuff were neutered because they could get far
They
away.
were faster than your average humanoid with pack tactics
Smarter than
and
your
a
average bear.
and ranged sleep attack. The idea being that they pack together and they run around and flank their enemies, systematically putting them to sleep at a faster pace than what their enemies can move. Your
In most
aura-
cases.
Yep, your aura negated their ability to do that. So yes, it was. Despite the fact that your weapon specifically wasn't hurting them, you neutered that fight amazingly, and I
I
loved it.
became a control bulb. I
Yeah,
didn't even
I
know
loved
they
it.
existed.
Yep, I loved it. I love seeing people experiment with things and see what they can come up with.
My role
also
was
the-
to stand far away and throw rocks at people.
I was about to say, I mean, the one shot rock was also pretty
It's
damn
really
cool.
good.
My
And of
role
course,
was to watch the VOD.
yeah, and Frey diving in with her nice little moon guiding bolt, as always, was good.
What's
It was
the-
actually
what's the
really
name,
good
Marla?
teamwork.
It was, yes. I felt a little sorry for the fact that Vander got knocked out and stayed knocked out for pretty
Yeah.
much the entire fight.
That was rough.
However, you guys have now experienced combat with them and you understand a little bit more of how they work, so you can incorporate that into
Some
any
tactics,
future
yeah.
conflict you might have with
But
them.
this was also our first conflict that
That's
all
so
four of us were in.
Yep, it was your first group fight in a long time.
Yeah.
In quite some time.
Because all the other conflicts have been like small scale.
Yes. So,
And the town we are heading to is called Darwa.
Dawa. Yep.
Darwa.
So, it is currently the 17th of Gwendith, which means you are past the middle of spring. It is, I think we were getting into the afternoon of this day, and were you to push, you will arrive at Dawa, if that is your destination, probably just after, like, the sun will probably be very close to going down, provided you set a good pace. If that is what you choose to do. But from here, I will leave it up to you as the pyre burns down, whether you remain to watch it go into ashes and prevent it from raging out of control. Whatever you choose to do here in this moment, in the aftermath of your conflict with the Karak Sharok and the burning of these unfortunate victims, is entirely up to you. So tell me, team, what do you want to do?
I also took trophies.
You also what?
I also took trophies.
Right.
We took stuff to identify the villagers. Was what me and
Yes,
Vander
you took-
were doing.
Yeah, you took some of their belongings. What trophies did you take, Sekit?
I can't remember what I took off them. Off them. I think I either pulled teeth off the ones that weren't disintegrated, or
Okay.
I got
cool.
something. Unless, did they have tattoos?
They did, but their tattoos were
Oh,
As
they
a-
were body mutilation, weren't they?
Yeah, it was kind of like the ritual that they have when they become warriors in the tribe was to spill their blood into the sand and then ingest the sand. When they get tattoos, they actually get the sand also tattooed into their body, which actually leaves them disfigured and scarred and mottled and all the lumpy bits of flesh. So, I mean, you can, if you are so inclined, attempt to strip a bit of flesh, disfigured flesh
No,
away.
I just ate.
I
Um,
do think she did because she really has beef with them. So I think she like did.
would you like
take-
to make a either a survival or a history check of some kind?
I would love to. Look at this first roll.
Woohoo!
Let's get a roll going. God, I keep getting distracted by fish cam. It's great.
A roll. Frey, are you here?
20.
A what? Was that?
20.
Hey, all right. You are aware that from time to time, the best sort of trophy you could do, especially if you are in any way wanting to. What sort of role was it? Was it survival or a history? Actually,
Survival.
survival. Okay. You know the Karak Shirok embed their bodies with bits of spikes and metal and rings and things. You wanna take a trophy. There's almost nothing that you could take from a body that isn't actually a body part that it will inspire more of a this is a trophy of my victory than a piece of their adornments.
I heard when you said peace, I heard something else. You said a
Ah,
bit,
what you heard?
and then I.
Moving
I'm
on from
an
that.
adult.
I mean, look, given how studded and spiked and whatnot their bodies already are, it's entirely possible that
That's
piece is
terrifying.
too.
That's like a.
Um,
Oh no, I don't. No, I'm shutting up.
Yep. I'm just feeding into. Anyway, yeah, if you'd like to take a one of the pieces of metal, you can.
Should
That
we?
would
Yeah.
be something more unless you are specifically taking something else. That would be the most Karak Shirok recognizable trophy style thing you could take.
I would like to take one from each of the bodies.
Okay.
And I'm going to collect them, and I'm going to see if I can turn them into a.
Little meat puppet.
No, the metal bits, sweetheart.
Okay.
The metal bits.
I thought you were taking the flesh with the metal bits in it.
No, I'm a pry it off.
Okay.
But you'd
I
have
have some decency.
you'd have to clean them off. But yes, you could certainly acquire.
Just cleaning them off of the Lord's Lake, like this sacred place. Like, oh, just remember.
You're sure worse things have happened in that lake. So what do you?
We
what
swam
do
in
you-
it. That was pretty bad.
What are you making, Sekit?
I'm going to try and make an armband that goes around. Like,
Okay. That's probably going to require more than just standing here and doing that. That is going to require
Yeah.
probably somebody to actually work the metal. And possibly a blacksmith or a forge of some kind to try and at least put it into some sort of shape that requires it. And I mean, you could make an armband out of it with, plenty of them actually have rings into their flesh, so you could probably easily have one of those as the basis, and then have spikes and studs on that you get put onto the ring. But you will require somebody to actually work that metal. It's
awesome.
not
So
something you could just force together. That's something that would require some work.
that's going to be the idea. So she's going to collect enough bits and pieces to kind of
Okay.
create that kind of scary ass armband. And it's going to be like one of those little Pandora bracelets. And every time she kills one of them, she's going to start taking little trophies. Because she also had
A record, yeah.
a survivor background that says you get a trophy.
Ah,
I'm going to say that she's already got a couple.
okay.
She's actually collecting these because she's
Well,
got a real beef against the tribe.
In that case, what we can say is with your survival check of a dirty 20, you do pull out a ring that would be the perfect size and is actually not damaged enough that with a little bit of work you could turn that into the armband you're looking for. How about we roll
Excellent.
that? How about we roll that into it? So it won't require too much. You just require somebody to work it so these pits can be attached. And if you're wanting room for more to be added, then you will need other little bits of metal, put into it as the little hooks and chains. But yeah. Okay. Cool. Moving on from that grizzly part. Was there anything else anybody else wanted?
I was just gonna explain. Shapoopies, Vander is a fish today because Vander is moving house and is not able to be
Yes.
here. So
Yeah, it's not here today.
probably already gonna be like maybe a 2-hour game, 3 maybe.
Quite
at a
possibly.
push. So it's
I'm
like
also still recovering, so we'll see how long my energy lasts for.
exactly.
Yep.
So, we're just Vander is in his cat form after the chaos, and he was like that was traumatizing a little bit, and now he's a cat for a while.
The sleep that he got put into reminded him that, maybe now's a good time for a cat nap. It's a nice warm day by a
Having a
lake. I'm just going to ride in, on somebody's shoulder or draped over a backpack and enjoy, the wind and the warmth.
Was that the cat?
I think that was somebody from
Damn, let's go.
So,
Okay, I'll remute.
We love you, Sedan.
Is everyone? I mean, the Vander is gonna need some time to heal, but is everyone feeling okay? Do we want to push to walk to town tonight? Because, I mean, this fire is going to attract. It is a smoke. It is kind of easy to spot. So either we move away from it somewhere else and stay the night, or we try to go all the way to town.
I think we should go all the way to town. They came from that direction. I want to make sure,
Okay.
none of them are going back for them.
May I propose that we go slightly off the path? So that, if they do see the fire and they come to look, we are not in the immediate eye line.
Are you going to do the leadings?
You could, that's fine, because I'm, look, I can do this by myself. I don't know how to do it with other people. It's the reality.
Yes, the water seeking is a little different than the warriors packing together, so
Yeah.
I will let you off this time. I will leave it
This
off
is
the
just
path.
my suggestion. I am just saying, we have made noise. We have left a mark. It is effigy, if you would. Frey, what do you think, though?
I think we should go into the town.
Okay. Let's go.
So, my question to you is, you've lit the pyre, the bodies are burning, you are in a relatively open section of grassland
Yeah.
near a lake. Are you going to walk away while the pyre is still burning and resume your journey? Or are you going to wait for it to die down? If you wait for it to die down, it will cut into the time for your journey. But how responsible naturalists are you?
All I understand about fire is what I've learned from the sands. Like it's
Yep.
sands make it pretty safe.
No, please play to your characters. I'm just asking because I want to know.
Seconds ready to go.
I don't have proficiency in nature. I do have the survival thing, though. My instincts are telling me that this is something that would attract people, and therefore.
And
we
there's a
should
large
move
body of
away.
water there, so it'll be fine, right?
Yeah, this is totally.
This is fine.
Fire doesn't spread that fast. Except in that one time we blew up a house, but that was different. That was like kindling, This is just. This is rolling hillsides. There's no trees here.
So you guys are pushing on?
Unless
No.
Frey has proficiency in nature and tells us otherwise.
I'm all good.
Nope.
Alright.
a big N-O from the gnome.
Do we like douse it so it's just like burning coals? Or do we leave it ragey?
I think Sekit would just head out because
Because cool guys walk away from explosions, right?
Yeah.
And these guys quite clearly have pockets full of kerosene, so it will go boom.
Hi, Samurai TV, and hello, Archon. Hello, how's it going? Oh my god.
So you guys are going to push on. Are you
Yeah, we look really
continuing?
cool when we walk away from the fire too.
Yeah, with the fire smoldering quietly in the background, without raging, you're barely even backlit, with the sun sort of almost not entirely above you.
Nice.
But you know, in your head canon, you guys, you can almost imagine the sunglasses and the fire exploding behind you into fireworks, most of which probably form weird shapes of pieces.
Love that.
One of them is oddly phallic.
Well, I mean, you know, I was using the word pieces because Becca heard something different earlier. So you are continuing to the village of Dawa, or are you making your way elsewhere?
We're going to we're just going off the path slightly, but still following it towards Dawa. I think
And
is
you're-
my theory.
And you're leading this this portion of it, are you, Nuffert?
I'm letting her off. I think I was gonna step in.
All right. Well, do you want to make me another survival check then? See if we can roll anything other than survival today.
Well, we don't get to
16.
roll it many other times.
No,
So...
it's great.
It is something she's proficient in.
I love the opportunity for things that are not the usual set of you know, rolls.
16.
16. I also love people justifying to me why they can use something other than what I've asked for in something, which is also really cool.
I would like to use
16?
cheese grater.
I mean, I think you might have to train for proficiency in that skill. You don't have a huge amount of cheese graters in the desert.
True.
True.
We don't have a lot of cheese in the desert.
Back at the rusted coppers, I mean, you know, Arum had a lot of cheese, so I mean, he probably had a grater somewhere.
Right.
So he probably could have spent some time in the kitchen with him. Anyway, moving on. 16? All right, that's pretty good. Roll the d20 for me. I don't think there's much you can fail on.
6.
16. 16? That's 6.
No,
Yep.
six.
That's the one you could have
6.
failed. Oh no.
No, that's it. Yeah, no, it's all right. With a 16, you push that into a nothing goes wrong sort of scenario. Easy. So, the afternoon continues with the fire slowly burning in the distance behind you. I'm sure nothing goes wrong. I'll roll for that later. And after a small amount of time, you know, the sun begins to dip down. You do begin to see that slight little red light in the sky that begins to show you where the dark moon Onera is. And it is very much late into evening when you begin to see, you know, around, you've sort of curved around the base of the Seven Lords Lake, and you see a small collection of houses. There's not a lot. There's maybe 10 loosely clustered together, right on the edge of the lake. You do see a little further away from the lake, you know, pushing a little bit further inland from it. There's other scatterings of buildings which you assume are associated with the village. There's no real layout to it. It looks like at some point somebody came here, they thought this is a nice fishing spot, and they just kind of stayed, and they built themselves a house, and then other people came along, hey, this is a really nice spot, you've got a good idea, and all just that it kind of just organically grew into a little gathering of people that ended up not just keeping it as a little holiday spot for fishing, but people started living here. All of the houses that you can see as you begin to approach have almost this blue kind of dyed coloration, like somebody's gone through and they've painted all of these houses the same color as the lake. As you get a little closer, you begin to see that there's slight little glimmerings coming from the houses. And it won't be until you get very close, but I'll describe it now anyway. You begin to see that bits and pieces of like almost shells and fish scales and fish bones adorn almost each one of these buildings, regardless of whether it's one of the larger ones that you would, pertain to be like a hall or a warehouse or a storage shed of some kind, into the smaller ones that are more living ones. They all have these almost underwater decorations, but no building looks exactly like another one. But they all kind of have this similarity where it's walking up to it. Not that too many of you spend a lot of time underwater, but it almost gives you that feeling of these are buildings that would, like, you would imagine an underwater colony would be like this. They're just all designed to sort of almost look like they're sitting on a seabed.
Yeah.
There's sort of no real center or path or road going through this little village. There is a loose, kind of an open area set a little bit further back, and not really a circle, but there's kind of an open area where these buildings aren't. And you can see that all the grass and whatnot has been worn down. Not enough that it's worn down to dirt, but it's all been, like, there's been a lot of passage here. You can see that in the middle of this open there is a couple of carts and a couple of horses sort of very quietly grazing nearby. A couple of people are wandering through. You sort of get the impression there may be, either the last boats are going out or the last boats are coming in. People are getting ready to sort of, have their dinner and end up for the night. There are 2 boats that are currently offloading on the little shore, which you see is like this little white gravel that leads up to the grass. There's about 4 people offloading things from the boats. You do see there is another individual that is kind of squatting down beside them with blue scaly skin and almost this white blue hair that goes down their back. And the carts are the horses are currently being tended to by sort of a younger lad and then an older gentleman who seems to be kind of kicking people into, hey, look, it's getting dark. It's time for us to end up for the night. Welcome to the village of Dawa. What would you like to do?
So it's bustling. There's people. It doesn't seem like it's been.
There doesn't seem to be any particular
ransacked.
alarm or alert. There doesn't seem to be any particular concern. These are villagers who are going about their business, who are just kind of ending up for the day. They're ready to go home and have a meal after their fishing. They're finishing up their business, whatever that business may be.
Does there seem like there's a main building that's like a town building or kind of an administration building or anything like that?
Not compared to a lot of the places you've been. I will get you to make, I don't know, let's do an investigation check, because that sounds like fun.
That face is a lot. I don't know about that.
It's a 10 plus 0.
Right, still a 10. All right.
Always a 10.
There are 2 probably slightly larger buildings than ones that you would associate with domiciles. One is sort of set a little bit more on the north side of what you can see of this little open area, and it's almost right up against the water. It's a long house. It's not wide, it's not big, but it's definitely got, quite a bit of length to it as opposed to anything else. And it almost seems to ride out a little bit over the water. There's another one that's set almost on the other side of the open that is also possibly a little bit larger. There are no lights on, in, or around that one. But a lot of the other buildings, as I say, as they're starting to get into the evening, you do see some of the candles and the lanterns are starting to be lit. But they're the only 2 larger buildings that you might associate with something other than a residence.
Should we go to one of the bigger buildings to give the belongings back?
I mean, we could probably just ask someone who's still out and about at this point. They could point us in the direction we're supposed to go. But to me, it does not seem like these people have been affected directly yet. So
maybe they did not know. The travelers left the village and got attacked on the way.
Mm.
Worth checking. You are good with words. You too, Frey.
I mean, so yeah, Frey's really good with words. Frey could.
Ha! But you're you sell stuff, so I think you're really well. I think we could all do it together.
You know, let's do that. We're in this together, right, Venter? Cool.
I mean, you sometimes get a little upset when I try and do the talkings. I mean, just
Yeah,
speaking
but
from
this is
past
I'm not
experience.
trying to make it. I'm not trying to cut a deal at this point. I'm just trying to, talk to an individual, see what's up. Try find somewhere to lay down for the night.
Oh, and ask about the spiders. Don't forget the spiders.
We will ask them about the
Actually, why we
spiders.
here.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Well, I say there are 4 individuals working on offloading the last of their catch from the boats. There is the squatting figure just on the gravel who seems to be watching them, and then there's the as you got a little bit closer, you see that this young lad isn't actually that young. He's just a very small, thin character, and the older gentleman who seems to be trying to sort of, give him some help and direction on what to do. They are probably the 2 groups that 3, I suppose, if you want to separate the one squatting. The 3 groups that you can sort of see that might be easy to approach. It seems like everybody else is either done for the night or is just not currently right here. If there's someone you wanted to approach, or you can go knocking on doors. Up to
The
you.
squatter.
You want the squatter?
You want the squatter?
You're like, oh, them thighs.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Were we given a name?
So it does take you a little bit into this tiny little village. And there is this brief sort of moment where like the 2 horses kind of have this kick up from their food, kick up from their meal, and the 2 sort of go after it. You do see the older gentleman as you guys sort of enter into the village surround, sort of looks over his shoulder and gives you a bit of a smile and a wave, and then as he goes to help with the horse. You approach over to this squatting figure, and as you approach them, you just see the hair is, even though it's like the sun's almost all the way down, their white blue hair almost seems to have kind of like a sheen to it, and the scales, as you get a little closer, you begin to notice there's almost little patches of hair and fur poking out from between the scales. Their arms and legs are kind of akimbo. They're sort of out, and it's a really odd looking posture. Yep, cool. You approach them.
Is he comfy? Do you think he's comfy? I think. Hey, you comfy there?
I think his legs say that he is very comfy. Hi there!
Yep. As you sort of speak, you see the head whip around very quickly, and the first thing that strikes you is the fact that this person has red eyes. Like, they're just completely sort of red, almost, but not quite faceted. And the scales and fur, the hair, is all over their skin. And there is this moment, this pause, where there's kind of like this assessment, and then a chittering noise comes from them, and they go down on all 4s and skitter away over to the north side of the
Might
village.
not have been. Might.
I guess. Not comfy.
They were dressed in a very loose sort of long leather tunic and some very baggy leather trousers.
Was
So
they
the movement
human?
was pretty unimpeded as they just, and they took off.
Have I? What? Do I know what this is?
You see, this is what happens when I try to talk to people. This is
You did come off kind of aggressive, admittedly.
Make a general intelligence check if you would like, or you can go
general-
for a history. History's intelligence, isn't it? You can do a
Yeah.
history check.
Well, it's about
I'm
the
gonna
same.
choose to fail at that.
Cool. 5. Makes sense. It's
5?
a fish thing. I don't really know that.
It's another. You've not seen something like this before. Like, I mean,
Afraid-
there's a lot of odd-looking individuals you've met in your travels. This is just another odd-looking individual.
Hi, such a spice.
So,
Okay.
unless Frey also wants to do a check. Up to her.
I think Frey would be so confused on why it just ran, it skidded, then she'd just be like, I don't know what that is.
That's cool. That's not a problem. The target has taken away and has almost kind of gone around the side of the longhouse
Yeah.
on the other side of the village. You could quite easily, follow them if you would like, or do something else. Yeah.
Is the man with the horses? Is he looking at us?
He was. He and the other one are now obviously trying to move these horses into, you're guessing, a small little pen or a
Corral.
corral. Yeah, I was looking for the word. Thank you. Yeah, a corral. I was there. I was just like,
You're like circular thing.
yeah. Moving into a corral, which is actually just around. It's actually on the closest side of the other larger building that you'd spotted, the one that doesn't have any lights. It is covered over top for a small little portion of it, but yeah, they're sort of moving them into there and ensuring that they're sort of set. But you only see the 2 horses as well. And, for a village this size, 2's probably a lot.
And then there was another group of people that were near the squad.
There were the 4 individuals that were at the boats offloading what you can only assume is their catch from the day.
Do we could just go talk to them as they unload their catch, huh?
I mean, they are kind of busy and being held there, so they can't at least skitter away this time. So, I mean, we can try.
I don't know. Maybe if you try hard enough, you could make them skitter, I think.
I do not know whether to thank you or hit you.
I go over and talk to them. Hello there. Hi. No,
So a couple of them sort of look up as you approach. The other 2 just kind of continue to move their catch, from the boat into little baskets and whatnot they've got with them. And sort of the 2 of them look at each other, and one of them sort of flicks the head. He sort of stands up and sort of, flicks his hands with all the water and the bits off them, and he kind of rings them on a little cloth he's got hanging from a rope belt. He sort of wanders over and is like, "Hey, hello there."
Hi, nice to meet you. I am Nofret Capri. Weird.
Hello, Nofret Capri. I'm Belbin.
Belbin.
What brings you to Darwa this time of the evening?
We have been traveling from the city, and
Right.
we're trying to go to a spider's den. We've been commissioned to find spiders' venom. So me and my compatriots, apparently there is one near Dawa, and we were wondering if we could find some help here, stay the night, perhaps get some information.
I can't say as I know anything about a spider's den. I mean, we have about as many spiders here as I imagine any other village might.
No, these are big ones. So
These are ones that, do weird things.
Do bad things too inside your head.
easily eat a goat.
Oh my god.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, that's why we're
what's
dealing
the
with
name
it,
of them?
so it's not a problem.
I
Please,
mean,
spiders.
I've not heard of anything like that. Yeah.
Thanks, Lizzie. Oh, you rolling for him?
That, and I need to look for. There was a name I had, and I've got to find it. There it is. I don't really know too much about spiders or anything like that. Probably the most in the loop person you want to talk to is Olwen, and he sort of points over. Olwen, yeah, points over to the older gentleman who was with the horses. He's kind of like the headsman of the village. I suppose if there's anybody here that might know something, he's probably the one. But no issues with spiders as far as I can tell. Just lots of fish.
Thank you,
Got
Lizzie
some
Lollies, for
sh-
12 months.
Hey.
Thank you, Lizzie Lollies. Oh,
Hey.
goodness. Okay, thank you so much. I will definitely speak to Alwyn, and I will give him the respect of him being headsman of this town.
No worries. Welcome to Darwa. Hope you
Thank you.
hope you figure out what it is that you're, after.
We'll figure it out in no time. Casson, thank you.
Speaking,
Casson's snorting. We're doing the subscriber dance. Look at Casson, subscriber dance.
Were you saying something,
Apologize
this
for
kid?
nothing.
yeah, but Frey was offering him a biscuit first, so I.
Oh, I
decided
didn't hear
to
that.
hush.
Okay. Oh, I mean,
Thanks, guys.
I love a biscuit. Do you have something to wrap it up in? Unfortunately, my hands are a little, covered
Fishy. Yeah.
in. Yeah. If you got something to wrap it up in, I think I'd love that. In fact, no, I appreciate it. I do.
Do you have a scrap of fabric, Sekit, from your stitching?
Yeah, I could give.
He's
Here,
like,
and she hands over like this little bit that has like really bad fucking embroidery on it. She's like, she's
Penny's practice
Like-
mom?
yeah.
Love it.
That's so
I
good.
love it. Okay. So you, what are you presenting, Frey?
Frey is going to present 3 simple lemon biscuits.
3? Okay.
Yep.
All right. And he quite gratefully sort of accepts this little wrapped parcel of the 3 lemon biscuits. It's like, this will go well after dinner. I'm very thankful. Thank you.
Speak-
Yep.
Speaking of headsmen, we came across a couple of loose heads on the road.
Okay.
Have any of your
No.
traveling, villaging people, have any of them been traveling, or did you have any people traveling through here? Because they were attacked by bandits, and we are very sorry.
Wait, you found loose heads on the way here? That,
In the manner of
she's
speaking, they were-
okay.
I don't travel if that's the sort of thing you find on the road.
I would like to
n-
paraphrase what she said, and just let's go back and say that we have found some villagers that we have been sadly attacked by.
decapitated.
I mean,
I give her the dirtiest look I can muster.
And she just like scowls and says, and whispers really unhappily, "Who said they could talk?"
I should specify which words. So we have recovered items to identify these people.
I
We should probably address this to your headsman.
I don't. I mean, everybody, as far as I'm aware, has been about. Lads, anybody gone missing? Anybody out travelling?
Foot in it this time, Sikin.
And they all sort of, they all sort of look over as, no, they sort of shrug and shake their heads, and no, it's like, sorry.
Did you have anyone passing through that just passed away too?
Yeah, probably not in the last. I mean, I'm usually out on the water, but I can't say we have in the last several days at least. I mean, most of our travel, if we're needing to go anywhere, it sort of points across the lake. We just, take a boat over to the city there. But, oh, sorry, I can't help you more.
That's okay. It's fine. You have helped us so much by welcoming us so warmly to your town.
It's no problem. I mean, it's quite a nice little place here. Look, if you guys are staying for the night, Olwyn will probably offer as well. But if you're looking for a place to stay, to rest up for the night, it can be obviously. Sounds like you've had a hard time on the road. I'll be here for we'll probably be here for the next 15 to 20 minutes while we finish up. Feel free to come back and you can come. Well, at least a couple of you can come stay at my place. Give you a roof over your heads. fire for the night if you need it. Appreciate the biscuits, but I've got to get back to it. If you need anything
you're
more,
fine. You're
go speak to
fine.
Owen, alright?
Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Good luck. We might see you soon.
Okay.
And he just goes back to his boat, and there's a little bit of conversation between a quiet conversation between the four of them as they sort of, they sort of look
What
over
a bunch
at
of
you and
weird chickadees.
sort of, some of them sort of give you sort of like a half-hearted sort of a wave and a nod and a smile before they sort of get back to it.
Three girls and their cat.
Three girls and a cat wandering through the town. The thing being, I mean, you guys are a couple of days travel away from the edge of Terragonia. They would probably recognize tribespeople.
Right.
Meow.
So probably very much recognize a cat when they see one.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
may or may not freak them out, but given that they are in the spirit of fishing, there's probably cats here.
He's not a black cat, so he's not
Yeah.
unlucky or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me. Oh.
You're excused.
Thank you.
We start walking over to Elwyn, but I just grab Sicket's arm and I just give it a little bit of a squeeze.
Hey!
I just want you, when you say that a person has died, potentially start in a very careful manner. Yeah? Don't
I
say...
thought it was a great segue. Headsets and play.
Yeah, but you don't say
Dude.
their heads are removed. These could be their loved ones, Sicket. Would you like to hear that my head had been removed?
Yes,
Oh,
so
yes,
I
you would.
knew
It would make you very
I
volatile.
had been killed.
Oh, but you wouldn't like hearing that about Frey. That would upset you.
It would upset me and make me fueled more for her revenge.
Well,
These
You
people
have to give it straight and inspire
These
passion.
people are not warriors. They will not know how to use that information.
She just stops and looks at the sleepy little two-horse fishing town and went, okay, I will give you that.
Yeah, suddenly getting it, like, oh yeah.
Sleepy, tiny little peaceful fishing village on the edge of the Seven Lords Lake, which has an aura of calm.
Really
and peace about
calm,
it.
yeah.
So coming in and talking about finding heads on the road kind of is a little,
Extremely jarring, maybe.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. I love it. I think it's freaking great.
Yeah, but like just that moment of looking around like,
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use your words in the context, yeah?
I mean, you said I could talk. This is on you.
I'm not saying you
And she
can't.
just
I'm
cross
just saying.
arms and walk off.
This is on you.
I'm just saying use different words. Frey, am I wrong?
Frey's still checking her neck to see if her head is attached to her body. And
No,
she's
it's
just
not.
like she gives
Make
she
a
looks
medicine
a second.
check.
I just
She,
pat
like-
Frey's shoulder. I'm like, it was just an example. It's your
Say
Frey
it.
like
is very
takes
much
a
attached.
second and gives her a thumbs up.
Beckett like comes over and pats her and says, I would be very angry if somebody removed your head. Like that very deep connection. Like
It wasn't supposed to be a
Serious.
bonding moment. Like, okay. I go walk to Elwyn. Olwyn.
Yep, Darwin. Yep. Who looks like he's left the last little bit of the horse grooming and settling for the night to the other individual, as he's noted that there are visitors to the village, and you see that he's sort of he's put his hands into a bucket of water and he's cleaning them off and sort of coming across the sort of the padded down little grassy open towards where you'd been talking with Belbin, and sort of sees you coming, and he's pulled out from his pocket a little crystal, which he's actually sort of currently rubbing together in his hands, and you sort of see it start to flicker into life as he sort of holds it up to give himself a little bit more light.
Oh,
As the sun is
such a human. Can't
now
see this
just-
shit. No.
yeah,
You know, second appreciates the light, okay?
and yeah, because the sun has now gone down, and the keeper of the light, Zenith, the bright moon, the bright sister, is out in full force. So it's not a dark night,
Oh, that's good.
but it's still, it's still nighttime.
Can we still see the crack along the one of the
Onira?
moons?
Onira, yes. Onira is currently setting down over the horizon, but you can definitely still see the red crack that runs and mars her surface. Like, you know, when you guys first set out, you couldn't tell where Onira was in the sky except for the absence of stars. Ever since your encounter and whatever had happened, Onira can now be seen by everybody where she is in the sky. But it is currently setting for the night. So Zenith's up. You can see Keeper of Balance Manayan is currently charting her way, you know, in a different course from Zenith. But Zenith is very slowly moving across the night. Full force now that the sun's down. But yes, you see Olwen approaching towards you. He's a very, much like the young lad he'd been talking to, he's a fairly skinny sort of an individual, but you do see he's got quite large shoulders and arms. Like his center mass is very lean, but he's somebody who's quite clearly done a lot of physical labor in his time, and he's even though he's a bit on the older side, he still has the build of that. Even though it's starting to
broken muscles.
It's starting to settle down, but he's definitely somebody who's done a lot of intense labor in his life. He's mostly balding, with a few straggly bits of still dark hair running down his neck, mostly grey, but he sort of wanders on over to you with this small glimmering purple crystal in his hand, and he wanders on up. He's hello, welcome to Darwa. My name's Olwen. It's always good to see visitors. What brings you to our tiny little village?
Headsman Aldwin, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Nofret Capri of the Tuvasa tribe. This is my sister.
Second Capri of the...
Yeah,
I thought we were going to give the... Yes, you know, you said I could talk.
All right, and may I have the pleasure, little one?
Oh, my name is Freya-Lise Winterlight.
Are you wearing your cleric trappings?
Oh.
Yeah, she would be.
Okay. So he sort of looks around and he clocks the three of you, and he goes, "Well, you've clearly been talking to the lads over there, if you know that I'm the headsman.
Yes, yeah.
Women of the Sand. Pleasure to have you with us, and a servant of the winter. Always a pleasure. But don't have a whole lot to offer here. But how can we help you this evening?"
Well, we are on our way for a mission of the winter to find a spider's den.
Okay.
It apparently is close to this town, if you have any indication of where potentially
Or if
strange...
people have gone missing, or if strange things have happened in their brain, they do psychic attack thingies. A lot of fear. Okay,
But nothing
like
that should be worrying the general populace.
This seems like a discussion that might be better suited with some warm food and some fire. Would you like to come join me? I'm pretty sure we've been set up for the evening. We can sit down and discuss spiders and psychic things, whatever that may be.
Yeah, and we have other things we would discuss with you, which would probably be better if we are in the comfort of your home.
Oh, please, I assume you haven't eaten yet.
No, not as of yet. We have been on the road most of the day.
All right, well, I will finish up with the other one over here with the horses. Whether you would like to wait for a couple of minutes or head on over to my place there. And he sort of points across the open to one of the you can sort of, even though it's dark, you can sort of tell one of the houses that's been there probably a little bit longer than some of the others. It's got a lot more of the decorations. It's a little bit more. You get the impression that he might be the headsman. He's not a particularly proud man, but it looks like he's somebody who's been here for a long time and he takes pride in that. But he leaves it up to you as to whether you wait for him to finish up for a few minutes or whether you go over to go over to his place. And he does very promptly turn around and move on back to what he was doing with the horses,
I think we'll
without waiting for an answer.
We'll just like walk over and I'll be like, Frey, he seemed to respond quite well to you and your religion. Maybe you could be the voice for us right now, you know? Especially about the people on the road.
Oh, I'll discuss that. Try.
Just, you know, if he seems more comfortable with one person than others, then that person should do the talking, you know what I mean?
I mean, he did seem pretty cordial. He knew us for who we were.
Right.
Mhm.
Are you currently distracted at all, or are you here with everybody?
Here with everyone, worried
Okay.
about like Frey would be worried about Morius and her gnome companions, but she'd be trying.
But you are present in the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you have an insane passive perception.
Ooh.
You do note that over by Olwyn's place, there is a figure goes in through the door and then promptly closes it behind. You only notice that because of your passive. If you would like to make a perception check to note anything more about it, you may.
I would like to.
Okay.
I'm
Nobody-
just busy listening
nobody's-
to Sicket, like, yep. You did well in
Nobody's
that
hurting
conversation.
anyone in this goddamn
Because I said
village.
nothing.
It's a trap!
That is a dirty 20.
Damn. All right. Okay. So you catch a look at the figure that goes through the door. It was the same figure that was squatting down on the gravel by the beach. The one with the long spindly arms and the scales and the blue-white hair. Just sort of came around the corner of the building very quickly, opened the door, and then went in through the door and then closed it behind them.
Did the other people know that that creature was here when we came into town?
You can make a retroactive perception or investigation check to see if anybody reacted to it or not.
Yep, it doesn't matter which one I do, it's the same number. Investigation.
Okay.
Oh, 17.
17?
Yeah, that was pretty good
Um,
for me.
It's not really the sort of thing a person looks for when they walk into a place. You know, whether people are paying attention to other people who are already there.
Yeah.
However, with a 17, no, nobody really seemed to pay that figure any mind.
Okay.
They're quite clearly there, but nobody seemed to pay them any attention. Whether that was just because they were used to that person being there, or they didn't see them, you don't know. But, yeah. Anyway.
Interesting. Interesting.
What now,
Is it
folks?
not?
I don't like that. Well, I don't want to say I don't like the figure that walked into his. There was a figure that walked into his house. You know the figure that skidded around? He just ran.
The scuttling man?
Yeah, the scuttling man. That's actually a really good name. Do you think that he'd like being called Scudder?
Scuttle!
Anyway, just walked into the house and shut the door. Do you think that these guys know that Scuttler is here? He didn't look very friendly.
I mean, people say I don't look very friendly, but I feel I am. You know, I think we should give it a chance and corner it in the house while we're waiting for, all this
Hold on, we're not
done.
gonna just enter someone's home because we think someone's invading it. We have to wait outside and then ask Olwyn.
He literally said we should go to his house. So, I mean, we would be doing what he said and checking it out as we were there. I mean, it all falls
Now I'm
into
like,
place.
oh, I'm looking back at Alwyn being like, is he trying to trap us?
Oh no!
Are we in a cult town?
Oh,
Oh my god!
no!
And imagine that. He's just like, oh, we're really nice. Hinka tinka turrigan. Go into my house.
Get
You're
her!
gonna live in the basement now.
Puts the lotion
No.
on its skin. No, no
All that
travelers
pretty
came
mouths.
through here.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
You guys know me. I'm just as likely to mess with you as I am to try and make you think that I'm messing with you.
I think
Ah,
Or, you know,
could be anything.
it could be anything. And that's great. That's exactly the idea I'm going for.
This is going to be a sleepy ass town, and we are going to have overthought the shit out of it, and it's just going to
No.
be like
No.
a little
That wouldn't be
It was-
us.
creature.
It's 100% us. Oh, I'm sorry.
100%.
Okay. What do y'all do?
What happens if we go in there and it's actually something? We're not gonna like fight it
it
inside
could-
of the house.
Yeah.
We'll break the house.
It would stop it scuttling away. I mean, Scuttles has already shown the potential of running, so if
Look at
we
the plucky
just
canary.
stop it, I mean, that was another story. But you know, we just want to talk and use our words because Second said I could.
We
Not
could.
Second.
We
Not
could
Brett said I
talk.
could.
We could talk, but we could do it standing here.
Hmm.
I cast message.
Okay.
Can I can do it. Message can go through walls, can't it? I just have to know the
Yes.
general
As
direction
long
of
as you
like
know the
something.
Direction. Yeah, as long as you got a target and the direction of the person they're within range. Yes.
I messaged the creature.
Okay.
Oh please.
Did
tell me
you
he
want
has,
us to
like-
see you? That's all I'm asking.
Because that's not creepy.
Oh, imagine
Fucking
him
hell
having like
no,
a
Brett.
British
Hi.
accent and being a
Did
really
you want
like
us to see you?
proper.
Do you put the lotion on your skin?
Well, I just rolled for their reaction.
Oh,
Have a pretty mouth.
And you get back into your head a, what the heck is this? And that's
Mrs.
it.
Beck. We are the newcomers that tried to speak to you, and we saw you go in the house. What? What did he say?
Get out of my head!
Yeah, he didn't appreciate that very much at all.
I don't think anyone would appreciate a voice that comes.
And you think that I am bad with people? Stop it!
You were the one who wanted to
I-
charge it there and fight it. I'm not gonna yell in the town.
You literally. No!
Frey's gonna be looking at Vanda like.
Oh, I don't have your thing. That's right.
What am I thinking?
What are your saving throw proficiencies as a sorcerer?
Charisma. Charisma and
I've kind of outed it
Constitution.
now. I've kind of outed it now, but can you make a charisma saving throw? I was going to do it
Ooh.
quietly in the background, but now that I've asked, it's kind of out there.
I can do it. I can do
Yep.
it with this dice that rolled really low before, and it did it again. Math. 15.
Did you say math or meth?
I said meth. No.
15? Okay. After that last little shriek of get out of my head, all you hear is a little fuzz. Like there's this building hum at the tail end of that scream that kind of unsettles you initially,
Yeah.
and then just kind of fades almost into like a little white noise for a very short span of time before disappearing.
Okay. Alright, we just wait right here for Olwen. He'll be finished in like 10 more minutes.
And it's less than 10 minutes before he is in fact finished. He sends the other fella off. The horses are sort of bed up for the night. You do see that the four have all kind of shouldered their baskets. They've got, they've moved the boats up and have put them into the shelter of the longhouse, because that is in fact what it is. To where they keep their little.
It's a longhouse?
It's where they keep their boats for the night.
Wow. I love
Because you can't see it from this side, but if you were to go up to it or look at it from the lake side, you can actually see the little ramps and things that go down into the water and everything else. It's very much a fishing village. But Olwen makes his way over to you. He's got his crystal in his hand, and he sort of just wanders on up to the three of you, waiting patiently outside, where he gives you a big beaming smile. It's kind of like, I see people have got some manners. I did ask you could say you could go inside, but very pleasant to see that you've decided to wait. Come on in. I'm sure dinner will be ready shortly. And he sort of opens up the door and heads on in.
Do you want to clarify 3? Okay.
You can before he gets gets around and through you.
yeah.
It's up to you.
I do have a question.
Right.
Fro's gonna say really quietly, just in case. You do know the man that walked into your house, right?
A man that walked into my house.
White, blue hair,
Skittered.
skittered around. Yeah.
No, that's no man. That's not. No. That's no man. That's Za.
Oh, okay.
Za.
Yes.
Is that like an XA or a ZA?
It's a ZA. Za.
I just, sometimes you spell things fun.
No, I know. I spell things for odd. It's fine. No worries. That's Za. She'll just be making herself comfortable for the night.
Okay.
Sorry.
Come on in.
Speaking
Come on in.
In advance.
We've not come across a czar before. What is a czar?
He sort of stops with the sort of door half open, and he sort of looks back at you, kind of like, look, just be a little sensitive. Zar's one of the foul-blooded.
Oh.
That makes a lot
They're
of sense.
they're a little bit skittish about their nature. A little bit off around other people. But provided you're here with me, it's all be fine. Just this is a place. Peace. And Zar came here seeking a little bit of peace and quiet from being persecuted from her own. And she found that here.
We meant no harm.
I'm
Honest.
sure you didn't. You asked. But show a little bit of kindness and compassion and a little bit of understanding if they are a little bit jumpy and scared.
Of course.
All right. Come on in.
I could just watch it, like, imagine Northred just being like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Just a very fake smile, like.
Yeah, so I mean, the mentions of being one of the fell-blooded, it does kind of make a little bit of sense because the fell-blooded are very much mutated individuals that take on different sort of aspects of either animals or demonic style creatures. So the fact that Za is a very different and odd-looking entity does kind of then make a little bit of sense.
Who was the foul-blooded we met at the very beginning?
Who? That
The
was
one on the boat.
Yeah, Ku.
Coo,
From-
that's right. I was trying to think.
Yeah, it's one of the
'Cause
crewmates
he's
of the
more
Ambition's
bird.
End.
He's more bird-like.
Yeah, it's almost like that bird-like, beak-like face. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he did sort of chirp a little bit when he talked. Yeah, yeah. So like the fell-blooded, I mean, for people who don't know in chat, and as a refresher for you guys, I don't have tieflings in my world.
Yeah.
Just because of story thing. The fell-blooded are what a tiefling would be, but I don't have them as demonic so much as I have them as they're mutated people that generally take on different aspects of other creatures in the way that they grow up. That's why you find very odd-looking people
Bit
sometimes.
twisted.
So yeah, that's what Ku and Za are. They're known as the fell-blooded, which isn't a particularly polite or pleasant name, but oddly in this world they don't take offense to it. It's just a label. Yeah. Anyway, Olwen sort of then, with a nod, sort of moves into his house, his home. Where you do see there is a fire burning. It's initially a very open room that he leads you into. You see that oddly the inside of the walls are painted also, but they have a sort of a deeper blue that becomes almost this, not a light green, but this kind of starts taking on green hues as it begins to move towards the ceiling. And then the actual ceiling itself has almost this shimmering green-white paint color. So it's almost like being underwater.
Wow, that's so cool.
And the fireplace kind of reflects off a lot of the fish scales that he's got embedded into the walls. That does create this, again, this almost very shimmery sort of inside. But it's not blinding. It's not overwhelming. It's just very odd and unusual. You do see that his table and a lot of his furniture are actually crafted out of large bones. You're not entirely sure what the bones are from, but given the theme, you're thinking it's probably safe. It's a sea creature of some kind. You're not sure. But inside, you do see Za, who is currently standing at a counter, picking up plates, and actually from that counter, as she turns, her long spindly arms are long enough to reach from the counter to the table, and she's just standing there putting them out, and her head does flick around to look at you. She gives a little bit of a chitter before she starts immediately putting out more plates, understanding that it's not just the usual people. So this is not an uncommon practice, is the immediate thing you get. You get the impression that they're used to welcoming people into their homes. There is a smell going on. It does smell like there's some sort of stew cooking. It's a little bit different to what you might smell in the kitchens of the Rusted Coppers. You're very used to sort of eating reasonably well, even if it can be a bit simple at times. This is a very simple place. Not fish, which, you might assume. It's not. It does appear to be a beef. It does appear to be a beef stew of some kind. There is sort of on that counter, there looks like there's been a whole lot of very fresh vegetables that have all been cooked up and placed into it. And sort of the remnants are all still sitting there. There's nobody else here, just Sa. And Olwen sort of comes on in and he waits for her to finish placing the things before giving her a nice big hug. And he just sort of kisses her on the forehead and it's like, thank you. And he turns around and introduces you to her. And Za kind of shrinks back a little bit and chitters just a little before sort of starts serving up some of the stew into the bowls.
Having, I would say being used to, like, wild creatures out in the sands, Sekit would just make sure not to make eye contact, but just have open body language, that no weapons, and just try and convey with the body that she's friend and thank you and kind of I trust you, you trust me, kind of just conveyed in how she holds her body.
Okay. Yeah, Zara never seems to make direct eye contact with any of you. Does kind of, like, it's hard to see because from what you can tell with, ducking their head and the hair sort of coming down over, even though they've got these red, almost faceted style eyes, there's no pupil to speak of, so you can't really tell who or where they're looking. But they do sort of look up and they sort of glance around before ducking their head back down and away. But understanding that there is kind of this, trying to have this non-threatening approach is probably very good. And I imagine Olwen also would just kind of, very almost relieved to give you sort of a, thank you, sort of a nod. But he goes and he washes up his hands and he turns to you and it's like, well, Zal will be finished serving up some food very shortly. Do any of you need to wash or put your belongings away? I imagine you haven't got a place to stay.
We have actually been offered some beds, for not all of us, but at Belbin's house.
He's a good lad, that one. I have enough here for the three of you if you would like. It's up to you. You can all stay here, or you can take Belbin up on his offer. He's a good man. He'll look after you as well. It's not exactly a short journey from anywhere unless you're coming across the lake, and considering you didn't arrive by boat, I'm guessing you didn't come across the lake.
No.
So,
as you rightly pointed out, we are children of the sands, and boats do not come to us naturally.
I would imagine not. Have you been on one?
It was a ship. No, wait, boat? Shit.
A ferry was the one that we took.
Oh, one of the barges?
Yeah.
That would have been an experience. How'd you find it?
The lake is very big.
It is.
There was water from horizon to horizon. Who knew
It's a
that
big
much
lake.
water like existed in the world?
You think
Like,
that's a lot
just
of
this-
water? I
like-
recommend you go out and see the ocean, because that will very much change your perspective. And Zar kind of chitters and taps him on the shoulder before making kind of a, a washing thing with her hands, and he goes, right, yeah, I'm sorry. Put your belongings down, wash up, we'll have some food, and we can have all of our discussions while we're eating.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's,
And he sort of motions through this, like, there's several doors that lead out of here, but he directs you towards where there is both a bedroom and an adjacent sort of place where you guys can wash up. It is entirely up to you if you want to dump your belongings here, because, I mean, obviously sitting at a table with, full packs and weapons is a little awkward.
Where they wash up, is there a bathtub?
There is a very crude bathtub, yes. Yeah.
She's
So,
gonna sit up.
she's going to sit up. Beautiful.
I just.
He would not be offended if you took up Belbin's offer, but he is, there is plenty of room here for all of you. He doesn't realize Vander is anything more than a cat at this point, so.
I'll just bring
Aeon,
out
hi!
the possessions from the individuals on the road and keep those on me. I'll put
Yeah.
everything else down.
I mean, we can just assume you've got it with you, but it's just kind of the whole generic thing
Yeah.
if you're not going to sit at a table with full packs and
No.
weapons and things,
little
so.
rude.
Yeah. So it's just kind of that whole doing the hospitality thing. But yeah, there is a basin with some cold water to wash up. Wash your hands, splash your face if you would like. Lovely to see you, Aeon. Hello.
It's,
So you do have, like, the door is open, but you do have a moment of, peace to yourself before dinner. You imagine Olwyn himself has gone to sort of, wash himself up after dealing with the horses. So it's up to you whether you guys just want to get straight into having a meal, or whether you want to have
Second, we'll wash
a
off some
convo
of the
first.
blood.
yeah, I'm gonna be doing that too. I'm just gonna go make a cup of tea really quick because I can't seem to regulate my body temperature at the moment.
That's all right. We've been going for almost an hour and a half. If we want to take a quick break, then
Sure.
We don't. Oh, okay.
we don't have to. But I mean, I also would like to refresh my
Add
drink
a
and stuff.
coffee.
And
Okay.
I'm not used to talking quite so long since I'm
Aw,
recovering, so
bud.
I wouldn't mind taking just a few minutes
Yeah.
break myself.
Okay, let's do like a little break while we
Yep.
just go refill drinks and,
Refresh ourselves.
and then we'll have a little talk with the
With
headsman.
Olwyn. Yep.
You're
Yep.
back.
Cool.
All right, be right back, chat. Also,
It's good to
check
be
out
playing again.
Aeoncraft. Check out Aeoncraft store, Australia.
Out Aeoncraft,
Buy dice. All right,
man of legend.
be right back. Thank you for your patience.
So,
Hello.
welcome to a place that isn't Cascorn.
No, we got 3 seconds left.
That's all right.
Okay, we're good now.
I think he was actually saying that to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I was saying
know
that to
we're
you
not in
guys.
Cascorn anymore. It's quite exciting.
You're actually, because I mean, you guys spent, most of your time in Cascorn, and then you went to the Sunreach Mountains to the Bastion between, and that's really.
My hands look blue, right?
And there was
Oh.
still a lot in Cascorn you guys didn't see, but welcome to an actual journey outside.
Do you see that? Do you
Of
see
the
how
free
blue
trade
my
zone.
hands are?
I thought it was just your light.
I think even if I turned my light off, you'd be able to see how blue. They do look off. I don't know.
A little bit of that veiny colour to them.
Yeah.
But hello!
Hello, everyone.
We're back! Just. put on the drink.
Got me some stripes. Skins.
Yeah, I'm about to have more of those apple crumble toffee pops, and I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to.
Oh, wait.
All I'm allowed
Wait,
to
when
say
did they
is,
put those in
"Wow."
stores?
I have no idea, but I saw them yesterday. I went into the dairy specifically to get snacky stuff,
Mm.
and
I've
because
never seen them before.
because I got a blur
Oh,
on apple crumble toffee pops.
I want to try those. I love apple.
So I got a whole lot of stuff I haven't tried before, just because I thought, why not?
Mm.
I did not get myself snacks for today.
When we were going around the pack and save, because there's like the one near us, they have a sushi bar. So I just get a pack of sushi, and that's what I was shoving in my mouth before the stream started, because the fucking line of packets, it was so long. And I was like, ugh.
We're at a sushi place down the road just by the dairy now. It's so good, but it's so bad as well.
Mm.
It's kind of like, I just need to go to the dairy to get some, milk and bread. Oh, hey, look, sushi. Whoops.
I don't think I'm in any danger of a sushi place opening up here.
Well, I didn't think we were going to get one in our little block of shops either. We're used to getting, bakeries and hot food joints and that sort of stuff because they're constantly cycling through a couple of stores there. But
Yeah.
the sushi place is opened, and oh my god, has it done well.
That
I
was like in my
guy.
hometown. It was like suddenly sushi, and everyone was like, "What is this exotic meal?" and got really excited about it.
Yeah, talking to the guy that runs it, and he sort of said, "Look, never expected it to be as good as what it was right here." It's kind of like, yeah, it's an
cool.
odd place, but hey, man, if it works.
Mm.
Anyway, give me a sec.
We had a new Indian place open up, and oh my goodness,
Oh,
Indians.
so good. But we went the day after opening night, and it took like an hour and a half.
no.
I was about to say, yeah, that's the only problem with opening times is they're usually packed as everybody wants to go try that new place.
Yeah.
Right, how are we all sitting, guys? We good to get back into it?
Are we back, Nixie? Nixie might not be back yet.
Not quite. That's fine. And how about you, Sedaine? Because we have a lovely Sedaine sitting in voice chat with us at the moment.
A little lovely placeholder with a bowl of fish for a head.
Yeah, ages ago, Aeon Craft gave us that link to fixing the Discord thing so that it would track who was where.
The BDO Ninja. I've tried messing with that,
I
but
haven't done it yet, and I should have, because now I had to make Casson pretend to be Vander today. Sorry, Casson.
Yeah, I've tried messing with
Cass is
that.
just sitting here playing some Animal Crossing instead of making a character. It's all good.
Oh, I need to let you on my island later. You can steal all my stuff.
I don't have an online membership, or I would take you up on that.
Aw,
When did
Money.
you get that
that's
fixed?
sad. Can I still send you mail even if you're not an online
I
member?
don't think so.
That's sad. Because otherwise I'll just send you mail every day. Oh, guys.
No, well,
tomorrow-
luckily my brother and his fiance play, so they just threw a bunch of fruit at me.
Oh, right. Tomorrow, it probably is a horse hunt on Animal Crossing again, because a villager wanted to move out, and I was like, I could justify this one leaving. Time for a horse.
It's time.
Horse time.
No!
Speaking
I
of,
think we've got 2 or 3 horses on ours.
oh, how?
That's a quick check.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, horses.
Earl.
what I was talking about yesterday with not maybe having to pre-order Stray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because they've changed the PlayStation Plus.
Oh right. Yeah, yeah. You just get
There's,
access
there's
to the
like 3
kinda Xbox
tiers
One.
now. There's the basic one, which is the same as what it always was.
Mhm.
There's, I think it's called Extra, and then there's Deluxe. Extra gets you access to a whole lot of games for free.
Damn.
And like there is a lot on that list that I've wanted to buy and I've wanted to play, and I wasn't going to get it until I saw half of the games there. That it's kind of like, I wanted to play these.
Yeah.
You know? And so now it's like, yeah, I did that. And then Deluxe gets you like classic games from way
Right.
back when, and you get game trials when they first come out. But from what it sounds like, is when Stray comes out, it's immediately going into their games catalog.
Wow.
For I don't know whether it's for a short time or what, but it means that when it comes out, because I'm in that
That
upper tier, I'll be able to play it without actually buying it. Which is I'm assuming if I've read the information right, which makes me go, ooh.
It does look very interesting.
It does, yeah. The other reason that I'm excited about it is Guardians of the Galaxy, which is one that I've wanted to play, and I just haven't been able to justify buying it. Is one of the ones on their games catalog. So it's like, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that'll all happen when I actually get back into playing games and stuff. Do we have a Frey back
I
here?
remember those days.
Yeah.
Frey loose.
While we wait for Frey, tonight I'm gonna be on. Shout out to Amelia and Jordan. I'm gonna be on their
Yes.
channel for some cooked art interviews, and
Some
we're gonna be
cooked
doing
art?
some horse content. Oh my gosh! Did I put it on the Instagram? I haven't posted it to the Discord yet because I didn't want to interrupt D&D. But Amelia has done the most cute fucking art of me and her and horses. And it's really
There's
cool.
something about horses.
Horses! Yeah, so that'll be 8 p.m. NZT. I think it's 6:36 Aussie time. So come in and hang out. It'll be fun.
Aussie time.
I'm still kind of do I go live on my end? I don't know. It might just be that I'm just hanging out with Amelia and they can do the hard work and I'll just hang out.
Let's just do that and host them or something.
That's true.
Yeah. Excuse me. Oh.
Yee.
Players, have you returned their mess?
Oh no. Is Frey typing in the chat? No. Not yet anyway.
Oh dear.
We just did a big. We've just. You know how you could just accumulate mugs?
Yes.
We just culled half of us. All the ugly ones. We're like, get out of here!
Oh,
They ain't got you anymore. This is Taco
I want none of
Tuesday's
you.
mug.
Get.
This is Ephemeral Tacos mug.
Hey.
From when they were studying. I remember this mug well.
I haven't seen
And then
Taco
they
online
moved
in a
to
while.
England, and I have their mug now. They're doing well. They're overseas at the moment.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just thinking I haven't seen Taco online in a wee bit.
Yee.
Yeah.
They've been doing a lot of commissions on Instagram.
Yeah, because she went for a period where she was doing a bit of streaming while she was doing it all, which was great. I
Yeah.
didn't get to see it because she'd start streaming about the time that I was on
England
work in the
times.
morning. So it was that was unfortunate.
I'm
But
gonna try and get them to do more. I think that would be good.
oh, Prey just unmuted. I'm guessing she's back.
Hello.
Sorry.
You're
No, you're
alright.
It's all good. It just gives us a chance to sit here and natter
Just
and
talking.
make chat go. This isn't D&D. Haha, jokes on you. This is exactly D&D.
This is D&D. Procrastination is
Sitting
D&D.
here talking and making me feel bad.
D&D.
All good.
All right. So you all set and sorted then, Frey?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. In which case, let's get back into it. Excuse me.
Robert doesn't.
Oh, I feel horrible coughing on stream. Right. So you guys have had a wash up. Those of you who would like to,
I
deposited
use
those.
the water as
Yeah.
I don't waste this
minimalist as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but also get clean.
Before stepping out into a relatively well-lit, large central room of Olwen's house. The plates all have a little bit of what looks like warm bread, still a little bit of steam coming off it, recently cooked, and bowls of stew. And there is quite a bit in each bowl. Like, this isn't a small, meager amount of, I've had to pass out a little bit, a little bit less to everybody because there's more people. There was quite a bit cooking in that pot.
That makes me
and
so
so
suspicious. He knew they were coming.
you could go that route, or you could just imagine that maybe this is just something they normally do. They just normally cook up a lot of food.
Is there a bowl
Yeah.
for Vander?
Well, there isn't a bowl for Vanda on the table, but there is a small bowl of stew that's been placed down under the table that's had most of the vegetables scooped out, and the tiniest little bits of the beef has all
And
been
it's
put
just
there.
gravy and.
It's just the gravy and the tender bits, the tenderest bits of meat that could be found, have been placed under the table, right where the cat.
Did my internet just die? What just happened? Hello?
Much as I physically can.
What is happening? Discord? Can you guys hear
Hello,
me?
Discord. Yep.
Oh gosh.
I was just checking your stream because it was buffering for me.
It's reconnecting.
Oh no.
Okay.
The recording hasn't died this time though.
Ah.
So we just
That's
have a
good.
weird bit of me screaming into the void with you guys frozen in time. And me being like, hello!
Is there anybody out there? Are you
Is
still
there
there?
anybody there?
Oh, we all went different ways with that. Hello? Is there anybody out there?
Are you still there?
Are you still there?
The timer's
We're still
reset.
reconnecting.
Yeah, the timer's reset on the stream. But no, it's still reconnecting.
What the fuck, internet? It's the middle of the bloody fucking day. I'm gonna fight someone.
Fight.
Sorry, recording. Oh, I think I'm live again.
Yay.
Hello.
Refresh.
Oh, I'm gonna go over yell at
There
my
it is.
brother.
Yep, there it is.
Do I yell? No, I'll explain it later.
Eh.
I don't need to do it right now.
What would yelling at your brother accomplish?
Make me feel better.
Okay. Would you like me to shoehorn in a combat encounter so you can have a crack?
I just want. I told you it's like near the 2 hour. Oh no, who lagged out? Oh, all of
Bray
the
went-
things.
That's right.
Oh, Quinesta, look.
Nope.
Amazing!
Yeah, poor Nipsplore trying to
We're
vibe
crazy.
me running in there. I'm angry at technology.
I love that he is Nipsplore.
The Nipsplore.
I know
Yes,
it.
it's-
Shapoopies has
it's-
done this. It's
It's
all
gone from
Shapoopies.
Nipsplore to Nipsplore, yeah.
Went from Techsplore to Brosplore to Nipsplore.
That's right, it was Techsplore to begin with, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Support.
we're back. We're just going to keep going and make the most of it while we can.
Yep.
Yes, so there is a small bowl of gravy and tender meat under the table for the noticed kitty. But yes, you all have places at the table. Zah is not currently in the room. Olwen is sort of just moving some of the dishes off the bench that have been used for prep. And as you do wander on in, he turns around and just gives you a big smile. Please take a seat. We'll be with you in just a moment. It just
I do like an investigation, like a little taste test, a little investigation, just to make sure it's not poisoned or sedated or anything like that, because they are being really nice.
fair enough. Yeah. So you want to sit down and trial some food before your hosts sit down with you.
Just
Go for it.
discreetly, like
Yeah.
like they can't
Okay.
actually. I
So,
want
in
to.
that case, in that case, you can make
Oh, is it deception?
a sleight of hand check
Ooh.
to see if
Oh,
you can do it without being noticed.
you're like,
That is a 7.
A 7. Okay.
so
Uh,
obvious.
And so now, you take a little bit of the stew. It's very tasty. It's been rather heavily seasoned or spiced. It's not salty, but it's been seasoned with like. It's not a gourmet looking meal, but whoever made this, whether it was Olwen, Zar, or somebody else, it's been very well made. I'd like you to make an investigation check and roll a death saving throw.
Olga, leave her alone.
I'm kidding about the death. I'm kidding about the death saving. I'm surprised nobody bit at that.
Oh, I was too busy yelling at numbers.
I was about to bite at it and tell you that I rolled low on the death saving throw.
Nobody bit. I was like, oh,
I
okay.
did 18 on the investigation.
Okay.
8 was my death
What
saving
are your
throw.
proficiencies? What are your skill proficiencies? Out of interest.
Athletics,
Yep.
intimidation, perception, and survival.
And survival. Okay, cool. You can't place a lot of the seasonings and spices, and there are a wide variety in them in this. They all blend together quite nicely. So again, it's been made by somebody who knows food. With an 18, there's a couple of different things you can't place. There's no ill effect upon you sampling it, at least immediately. You're not 100% sure, but there is something that's maybe pinging at your survival senses about this is a little too good for a sleepy fish village. Like, it's not overtly pinging at you going, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But there's something about all of this and the meal, the preparation, and there's certain things you can't pick up on despite having spent quite a bit in the city with a cook that you're not 100% sure about what it is you're tasting.
Man flesh.
Enough to give you
Oh, no.
pause.
Where did they get beef from?
Right! They killed a kid. I'm calling it.
There is enough to inform you. There is
Maybe
enough
it's
to make you
Jekyll.
suspicious.
Can I
You
just do like a discreet insight look at how he's handling the prep dishes? Like, is he trying to hide any of the dishes? Or...
Zar was the one cooking, and if Zar is not from here originally,
It could be a possibility that.
So far, Sekhet is the one with this information, so Sekhet is
Yep.
the one that will
Oh,
choose what she
shut
gets to
up.
do.
That's a solid 10 insight at his dish
In
putting
insight,
away.
he genuinely, from the looks of it, and because you have spent time in a tavern, he just looks like he's cleaning up after a meal, after prepping for a meal. Like he is making room. He is cleaning up before he needs to clean up, but he's cleaning up the preparation and cooking space. He's taking that little bit of time before everybody is assembled for the meal to do something rather than to not do something. And him cleaning up is what he can be doing.
Can I just lock eyes with Nofret and just sign careful and the watch?
Sure.
I've
Yep.
actually, because it's so long since we've done it.
And I'll keep
on
writing this on your initial sleight of hand check, so that's fine. Yep, you can do that. No worries.
it's like
my initial sleight of hand.
Yeah, I'll run that off you. I'll
Oh.
run it. All of these little interactions until something changes. I'll run it off your initial sleight of hand check. Unless you would like to try and make another one.
I would
But if
like
you
to try and make another one because
If
there
you
was
make
like
another
that.
one, if you make another one, I will do it at disadvantage. So the choice is yours. You can run off your initial one, or we can do a second one at
Dex, though,
disadvantage.
don't you?
Yeah, it's +2, so I'll
You're
try.
cool.
Risk the biscuit. I say.
Biscuit.
Yeah, people want to roll. I'll
The
Yeah,
little biscuit.
let them roll. How much?
18.
And that
18?
was full, like,
Okay,
bed.
and
This
you
is
have,
nice.
you have made eye
Man.
contact with Nofrit before trying this?
Yes. Like,
Okay.
because I know from previously, it only works if they see.
Because
Oh, you're doing it again. You're doing it again, internet.
it is buffering.
Yes. Oh no.
I'm getting so
Yeah,
mad.
oh, there we go.
There she is.
Welcome
and it's
back.
back.
It's still the stream stayed live, but it's hating
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I saw the skeptical look on your face.
I love that you paused, and when you came back, it was the head tilt of disappointment. Like, really?
Like me, I
Absolutely.
literally all I have is the music open and Discord open. This is not like and the
It's just-
stream.
yeah, it's just a thing.
Hi, Panama. I'm angry. Oh, it happened again! Please.
Utter disdain.
Please.
Please, hello.
Plus,
Please and thank you.
What the
Oh.
Shut the front door.
Gosh darn it, all the heck.
Yeah.
heck.
Hickaroo.
Yes, it's my heck.
My
Oh.
stream, as Amelia and Jordan would say, is bloody cooked right now.
Bloody
Bloody
dick, man.
cook.
Oh, it's cooked.
Bloody
So
kid.
cooked.
So
Hi,
Aussie.
Wilda.
Oh, she's cooked. She's
Right.
cooked, mate.
So,
Dropping frames like I'm dropping biscuits. Oh, it happened again.
yep,
It's fine.
again,
Ah.
it's fine.
I was
Just
making a joke
Oh,
about
okay.
dropping frames, and then it happened. And I was like,
Yeah.
ha
Discord. I saw your Discord thing freeze, and I went, oh no.
Can we just finish
Ah.
this dinner, internet, please?
Yep.
For the love
Yep.
cross.
Right.
Whoa, Christ!
Jesus, Mary and Joseph and the blessed ours. You could fucking just play ball.
So, speaking of which, you make eye contact with your sister Sekhet, and you pass on the information. Careful, Nofrit, you do see that.
Careful and watch.
And watch. Okay, cool.
And I'm guessing she probably saw me try the meal, and like, because my sleight of hand for that was 7. So
I haven't seen it, Wildo. I don't
My
know if
face
you can
went,
hear me.
Yep. Can
oh,
hear
I
you.
can now.
I can hear you. All right.
I just turned my
No.
Wi-Fi off on my phone to try help.
Otherwise,
this
it'll
shit.
just be chopping and chopping and chopping. All right. So yes, you do see that, and I imagine Freya Elise, with her incredible passive perception, probably notes that as well. She won't be
No
able to
idea.
understand the sign language unless she's been taught that, which I don't think she has.
No.
I don't think we've
Um,
invited her to girls' club yet.
No. But it is moments, and I mean moments after you signal that the front door opens, and you sort of see Zah sort of poke her head in, and then just slide in sideways and close the door behind her. Just, as she slides, she's sort of looking at, you guys, because it's just, she's obviously still very uncomfortable. Closes the door behind her and then sort of sidles around the side of the room through a door at the other side. And just sort of, as she walked past, sort of, placed one hand sort of very gently on Olwen's back, and moves through the door before you sort of hear a splashing of water. Olwen turns around, he's moved everything off, he's drying his hands. Big smile. Zah comes back in and she sort of slides into one of the seats, and he takes a seat himself, and then just gestures to the table. It's like, please, enjoy. And immediately just, helps himself to the food. So,
Okay, he's eating it.
He's straight into it.
Zah's eating it?
she's a little more circumspect, like he's getting into it. She's sort of more, she picks up a bit of bread and sort of dips it in the stew and then just kind of almost nibbles at the bread before picking up a spoon and just having a little bit. Just very quietly. Kind of still in that very shy sort of,
I'm gonna try and give us a few more seconds. So I'm gonna be like, I think I would feel more comfortable if we spoke about some of the things that we had seen on the road before I eat too much food. And I look at Frey like, come on, talk now.
I mean, we can talk while eating. You know, the stew will
Frey's-
only get cold. It's still good
Frey's good.
cold, but if you want to talk while doing so, you will excuse me. I've had a long, busy day, so I'm going to keep eating. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm starving. And this, yeah, and he sort of lifts it up and sort of almost kind of starts waving it around. So like, stew. And he just, you know, puts more in his mouth and just, he looks at you, now that you've sort of said you'd like to talk first, he looks at you expectantly while sort of having more of the stew.
Frey.
One second.
Oh,
We
Frey's
would
eating
like
it.
to- Frey's already in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
And it
would
is, it's good stew.
It's really good stew.
Yeah.
We would like to discuss some things that have been. We found remains of bodies just before the village, like in the entrance. We have some of their belongings. So if you know anyone, if you know the people, like give their belongings back to their family.
All right, we're getting straight into the unpleasant stuff. And he sort of just places the
Sorry.
spoon back down into the stew and sort of puts his hand sort of across his chest. And it's like, waits for you to continue.
While his focus is on Frey, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
sign to Sicket and be like, you okay?
I'm just gonna do the not really sure.
Yeah.
But
Very
purposefully show her I'm popping my spoon down, and she knows how much I love food.
Are you guys doing that quietly or subtly? Or
Just
Well,
subtly,
well-
as subtly as possible.
then I would like both of you to make sleight of hand checks. Because Olwen's not the only person at the table.
Yeah, Zaz watching us.
Even though his focus is on Frey,
The shy, scared one's gonna be focused on all.
I got a 14.
yeah, she's placed herself at the table where everybody's in view. So you got a 14?
16.
Yeah.
Cool. There doesn't appear to be any recognition from Zar or Olwen about your secretive conversation. Anyway, Frey,
Well,
as you
I
were.
am very sorry about the unpleasant conversation at a dinner table, as rude as it is. But were you aware of those people walking around near the village?
Those people, the ones you discovered on the road.
Have there been any reportings of bandits taking from around this area?
There haven't been any bandits that have bothered Dawa in probably at least 6 months. It's been a long time since we've had any problems with any looters, raiders, bandits, anything. They tend to leave us alone. Proximity to the lake's always kept us pretty safe from those with ill intentions, I suppose.
Ah, yeah, the calming aura.
It's just naturally a peaceful place. And there's no need to apologize about your choice of subject matter. Frey Elise, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
I mean, this is obviously something that is important to you, so it's not exactly appropriate dinner time conversation, but it's also a conversation that you feel needs to happen, so we'll have it. But no, nobody from our village has gone missing. We're not aware of any bandit attacks close by. We haven't suffered any in some time. We're just very quiet and go about our business day to day here.
It is slightly different to bandits. This one.
How do you mean?
Have you heard of the Sharok shrine?
With a natural one? No. I'm familiar with a number of the tribes. I can't think of any of their names at the moment.
These are particularly savage ones. A lot of our sound people we keep to ourselves. We're, we try not to cause a ruckus. These guys go out of their way for a ruckus.
The Karakshorok have a certain set of perspectives about warfare, which most of the other tribes do not hold. And,
They make us look bad, so we're not happy.
yeah.
These bandits, who are not really bandits, are this Karak Shirok.
Who travel with dog-like creatures. Jackals.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
that rang a bell.
A year ago or so ago, yeah. Would have had an issue with that. But, as I say, nothing in at least 6 months. About a year ago, we used to have the odd sort of person come trying to raid for some of our catches, but one of them was running with a bunch of dogs, so that's it, really.
I would potentially consider just putting some kind of night watch in place for a little while. They were within a day's walk of this town, so.
Right? Don't really have a lot of manpower here. We're pretty quiet most of the time, but
I understand that.
I'll put it out to the people, and we'll take it into consideration. Thank you for the warning. As I say, we haven't had anybody go missing here, so I'm not sure how useful I can be as to looking into their
Is he being honest?
possessions. Did you want to make an insight
Yeah,
check?
I want to make an insight check. Is there actually people who
Yeah,
are missing?
100%.
Sit.
Go for an insight check.
Sit.
You guys don't make enough insight checks.
I'm
Yeah.
trying!
And while we're talking
5!
and
This is
talking
why
to
I
him,
don't!
I'm going to be watching Zar for an insight check, just to see if she's reacting differently.
I'm mad.
Okay.
Frey's naive.
So would you
so she
also
won't-
like to make an insight check for Zara then? Okay. Sorry, what's that, Frey?
Frey's naive, so she won't make insight checks unless it's like fully
Unless she's
like, hang
half.
on a minute.
Fair enough.
17.
17.
Alright then.
Okay.
Damn.
And so,
Heck,
So-
Show me up.
Nofrit, you really don't get much off of Olwyn at all. He appears to be exactly what he's presenting himself to be. Yeah, there are little bits of what you're saying that are pinging his memory, like, oh yeah, that was a thing. But it's like anything. If it's not immediately the forefront of your thoughts, sometimes it requires a bit of a jogging of memory. Sekit. Zara's incredibly hard to read, mostly because she's kind of keeping herself relatively hunched over her food and not really looking at any of you, while just kind of staying out of the conversation and having her meal. There isn't really a reaction to anything that's being said, but you can see that she's trying very hard just not to be a part of what's going on. Like, she's very much trying to keep herself out of that, while Olwyn does his job as the headsman of the village, and she's just trying to remain as unobtrusive and unseen as possible. So, not really getting anything else off of her. She's very hard to read, but that's because she's not giving anything other than that off, body-wise.
Is she like watching us to see how much we're eating? Can that follow on that insight?
Occasionally her eyes will dart up to look and, dart across the table at each of you, but there doesn't seem to be any particular attention paid to what you're eating, whether you're eating, how much you're eating. It's more just she's occasionally looking up to see if any of you are paying attention to her, and when you're not, she's very happy just to go back to her meal.
Can
She's
I-
just got that whole sort of I'm not comfortable, and just, yeah. More so than anything else. She's not paying any particular attention to anything except intently her food bowl, which she's very slowly consuming.
Could I just take a moment to look at my magic awareness?
You detect magic.
Yeah.
There's no thing you need to do for that.
It
Is
says
really
as an
obvious?
action, I can open my awareness. So I imagine it's just within myself opening my awareness.
Yep. And that I'm pretty sure I know what that is, but just remind me again exactly what it is that does.
Until the end of my next turn, I know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover.
It'd pretty much just be this room. Yep.
And when I sense a spell, I learn what school of magic it belongs to. And I can use this as many times equal to my proficiency bonus.
Okay. Interesting. Give me half a sec. Because there is definitely a piece of magic in this room, possibly more than one. But I need to check out what school.
It's me, I'm magic, bitch.
Well, I mean, yeah, she'll already know the standard stuff to detect from you guys. This is just something different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it goes under that. Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay. So there are two things that ping you in this room. One of which is the one of the knives that have been used for the food preparation, sitting on the counter. It appears to have an evocation spell on it. Not sure what, but it seems to have some sort of evocation magic around it. The other thing is, very strongly, Zar herself is radiating magic. And it appears to be the School of Illusion.
Interesting. I don't
I
know
mean,
any of
sick
this.
it. You're running well the last couple of sessions.
This is sick. It's time. No for just
Yeah,
sitting there.
it's doing really well the last couple of sessions. I love it. Using outside the box thinking. Yep. They are the two main things that ping you. There are other things, but they are the two big things in this room that kind of get your attention more so out of, oh, hey, look, there's little crystals that are used for heating or for, this or that. Other little almost, not mundane, but everyday kind of
There's like the
magical
microwave crystal
effects.
in the corner.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, the light crystal that he's Olwen put in his pocket or stuff like that. The two big things of note that are probably out of place more so than anything are the knife on the counter that has recently been part of the prep and washed up, and Zar herself, who is radiating illusion all over.
Can you tell me what evocation magic does again?
I can't tell you exactly what evocation does, but I can tell you the spells that it is typically associated with.
Yeah.
Spells like Fireball and Lightning Bolt, and typically evocation is destruction magic. Like it is your blaster, I am going to hurt you style magic. Not always,
We better not
Not
tell
always.
Vander about this dagger.
but that's it's a knife. It's a
That's
knife.
not
Do you
annoyed.
think he will care?
No, I don't care. But yeah, typically evocation magic is used more as a war style, mages trading blows, attack style sort of things. You're not conjuring something out of the air. You're not protecting yourself with magic. This is I have the intent to hurt you, and I'm going to do it through violent magical force.
See,
But-
which makes sense on a knife
Always.
because
However, Sickhead is not as familiar with magic, so that is the basis that you would have for evocation magic.
So you understand?
You understand evocation means hurt.
Big bad no, the kind of magic that
Engage,
Nofrit does
kill.
is often evocation.
Yeah.
It's the
The
elf
sort of
one.
stuff you may have seen Syleria using or Theodore using quite a bit, when they were in
make
battle
things
mode.
go boo.
Yep.
Interesting.
Full setting.
Oh, froze again.
It's a great freeze. That was great.
It was, yeah.
Was it like
Alright.
ooh?
So yeah, Olwen sort of finishes up his little thing about, I'm not sure.
So there's nothing in
how-
the soup.
Not that you can tell. No.
She was actually looking to see if they used water from the lake, and therefore that calming feeling enchantment.
For the
over it.
soup, or
Yeah, for the
you
stew.
didn't see the soup get the stew get prepared. You don't know.
Yeah, I just meant
Yeah,
that
the
if there
stew's
was
already.
any magical enchantment over
Ah.
that water, would it transfer to that and try and make us calm and stuff? And
You don't seem to,
manageable.
to detect much from that water. Like other than the feeling that you get, which pretty much everybody gets, you don't really get a magical
And that
effect
same
or aura from it.
water in
So.
theory is still a lot of what the water is in the Cascorn.
Yep.
And we weren't affected
Yep.
by it then. In fact, we were quite frantic people.
Seven Lords Lake is a large provider of a huge amount of water for, Cascorn and places beyond, because it goes to Cascorn and then it gets shipped to other places because Cascorn is a trade hub. So, but yeah, as far as you're aware, you're not sure what was used to prepare the stew. You can't tell, but yeah.
So
So
player crystals, like actually that's a really good use for a knife. If you're preparing food and stuff, it helps like break it down and make sure it cuts properly. Whereas
Exactly.
seconds, like
Yeah, you are not wrong. But Dickhead is more familiar with the battle
Kaboom.
implications. Yep.
will
So
might
you
do you
don't
harm.
know. You don't know what that knife's enchantment is, other than the school of magic belongs to is evocation.
Another thing I would like to discuss is the particulars of the spiders that we are searching for.
Now, you mentioned spiders before. We don't seem to have much in the way of spiders out here, other than, your standard variety. And if you're here to exterminate spiders, forgive me for saying so, it seemed like a little bit of overkill.
These are phase spiders. You know those. They're the ones that they weave a particular web that's good for some things.
Also,
don't-
they have a matriarchy, and like she'll go into this whole like animal stuff that she learned around the spiders that they taught her at the Hunters Guild.
I mean, it all sounds incredibly interesting, and if you don't mind me saying so, very dangerous. But
Oh, I hope
We-
so.
we don't have any issue with any spiders nearby. I'm not entirely sure.
Is there
How
a
we-
cave system nearby?
I mean, there's always caves. There's several ruins. Just over half a day's horse ride, out towards Tarragonia. I mean, you two are from the tribes. You know all the ruins that live under those sands. Some of them aren't in Tarragonia. Some of them out. There's one or two reasonably close ruins of an old temples and things that get a little buried or abandoned over time. But again, I haven't had really any issues with, bandits or spiders.
In the last 6 months, you've been pretty much in a bubble, protected.
Life's just gone on.
Hmm.
A little bit, We're grateful for the lives we lead here. Some
Did
people.
you guys enjoy the eclipse?
I was sleeping when that happened, but I was assured it was fantastic.
It was splendid. I absolutely loved falling off of a tree onto onto one of my friends that became my friend, and we traveled. I'm rambling at the moment. This stew's really good though.
It is, thank you. I do have to admit, though, the eclipse did, of course, affect the waters in the lake for a wee while, which affected our fishing, but as I say, I never got to see it myself. We don't have too many tidal or lunar events really that affect us too much, but I mean,
Did the water go down or rise up?
a little bit of both. You know, we don't really get much in the way of tides here, but it's almost like there was a tide. You know, it went out a little bit and then it came back in. Almost more like living on an actual coastline instead of on a lake.
You know, you guys are being very forthright. It's so nice to know that people aren't, putting up any illusions. You seem so open and friendly, and I'm watching Zaha. I'm talking not so subtle.
Yeah, no, the not so subtle came through.
Good. My second is showing.
Make me a perception check. Or an insight, up to you.
I think I am equally bad at both.
Because everyone, I check under the table for the cat, and
I'm
everyone
actually
seems
okay at
reasonably
perception.
fine. I'm gonna taste test the food now.
Seems good.
So, with a nat
Makes
20,
seasoned,
that's
but
23.
23. Holy shit.
With
Was
a
that
yes.
was that perception or insight?
Perception.
Okay.
Fair.
Yeah, no, the food is very heavily seasoned, but you're also you're probably not something you might be used to, but these guys probably live mostly off fish. They're probably used to mixing up their dishes quite a bit with a lot of seasoning and a lot of spices. So they probably start getting a little bit inured to a lot of the spices that they use. So they start putting a little bit more in each time to get an effect.
It's a little bit
So-
like extra Cajun pepper because they're used to it.
Because they're used to it, yeah. So other than that, it's decent stew. What did you get? 23, did you say? Damn, rolling well. Okay.
I mean, there have been some 6s and under 10s in there, but
What was it? Perception or insight?
perception. So I get to see it. I don't necessarily understand it, but I get to see it.
All right. So at the sort of the tone that you're using, because I'd already previously rolled for her. There is kind of this small little shrinking that very subtly begins sort of happening as she shrinks back into the seat a little bit. Not actually shrinking, but she's trying to pull herself away a little bit. Trying to make herself appear smaller. And as soon as you sort of say, casting no illusions, you do see almost this involuntary twitch of the hand that she had, her spoon in, and you see a little bit of the stew sort of drop back into the bowl, and then she sort of puts the spoon back into the bowl and then just kind of folds her hands across her front and just again starts shrinking into herself.
Do I catch why Sickett directed that comment?
I don't know. Do you? Would you like to make a perception check?
Yeah.
I don't think
Don't
Sickett was
roll the low.
I don't think Sickett was being particularly subtle from the looks of it.
I got a 10. I don't know if that means I got it or not.
You rolled better than Olwen, who didn't notice. I mean, yeah, it's Sickett. She wasn't really being overly subtle.
No.
You do know that she was obviously directing this somewhere else.
Illusion.
Olwen currently is spending more time musing over the fact that Freyalise fell out of a tree onto a person who became her friend. You are some very strange and interesting and odd individuals that have suddenly been dropped into his lap this day.
Me? Kill.
But other than those, I can't say there's been anything out of the ordinary.
Spice. Well, I suppose that gives us a direction to go in, towards the ruins it is. And recalling they did mention that it was in ruins. Before.
There are ruins out
Yeah.
there, which is common knowledge. I mean,
Yeah,
you guys grew up in the
that's-
desert. You know that there's ruins under the sands, and
But the
the
person who told us that
remains-
there was spiders out this way said that they were in ruins.
yeah, that there was an uncovered set of ruins that seemed to be
Where the nest was.
infested with spiders. Yeah.
I just am going to eat the dinner suspiciously.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, Olwen's sort of, if nobody else does anything, he tries striking up a conversation with you, Frey, about falling out of a tree. Like he's. They don't get a whole lot of visitors, and now he just wants to know the oddness of the story. And whether you choose to share it or not, that's up to you. If things continue to sort of be a little bit quieter, he does ask you about, your worship, where you're from, because he knows where the two girls are from. He doesn't know too much about you. So he does sort of throw that out about whereabouts you are and how you have a relation with the Keeper of Winter. And just sort of general sort of small talk, unless somebody else wants to actually ask him something, that's what he's going to do, while he then resumes having his stew and bread.
We've presented him with the stuff that would indicate who these people are. But he says there's been no strangers pass through the town.
Well, no, not that there aren't strangers that have passed through the town, but nobody's gone missing from the town. And if they are strangers, he's not sure how much help he can be identifying them from their belongings, or where. Like, he has about as much information as what you guys might. He would say, for example, the last pair of strangers that came through, they didn't stay with him. They stayed with somebody else. So he doesn't know anything more about the last ones that came through.
Okay.
He could direct you to where they stayed, but whether that's even the same people
it's
or
the
not,
same
you don't
party
know.
or not.
And that's why he's not sure how much help he can be identifying these people for you.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess do we want to just carry some random stuff around for ages, or do we want to package it up, leave it here with the potential that they could, if someone came through town looking for them, their stuff would be here.
Yeah, I reckon we do that.
Okay.
I've become a cleric, guys. That sun is just perfect.
Yeah, I was about to say you've gone all light and bright on us.
It's gonna be so confused when we wake up and it's heady in the morning.
So the meal sort of continues. If anybody else wants more, there's plenty more in the pot that's still warming. There's still some fresh bread that can be had.
After sensing that magic from
Mm.
her second hasn't eaten. Like, she was having a little bit of the gravy, like, just to be polite, but like only little mouthfuls that aren't really substantial. But she's not even doing that anymore.
Very lightly grazing to be polite. Yeah. So I mean, he'll strike up a pipe once he's finished, and he realizes everybody else is done with eating. He does sort of inquire about, so your intentions then? You're after bandits, or are you after spiders?
We are after spiders.
Mm.
And if we do come across any more of the bandits,
They will be dispatched immediately.
mhm,
Dispatch bandits. And what are the intentions with the spiders?
they
Are you
are
also hunting and killing them, or?
Hopefully not. We are trying to just get a very rare ingredient of them. We are.
Oh, you said something about webs, right? Right.
We have
Inside check.
we have some friends who we need to do a particular recipe for.
16.
What you say, the ritual. And we need some ingredients, and unfortunately, it's particularly dangerous spiders are on the list.
I'd be questioning your friends that are sending you out for dangerous ingredients.
my friend is sleeping and is not waking up. There has been some that dreamt up some really nasty things. We don't want them dreaming up even more nastier things.
Sounds like you guys have had a time of it. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm insight checking. Why is he
Yep.
asking these questions?
No, that's all right.
Why is he interested in these
Because
answers?
the other thing, so two things happen then. Your insight check tells you that he is curious about what your intentions are. He's
As the headsman of the town.
he is a peaceful man, for the most part. You can tell from his physique he was not always a peaceful person. He might have been a laborer, but there seems to be something a little bit more to him. So there might be something of that that's kind of rekindled that sort of, these guys are into an adventurer, what are they doing? What's going on? So this is kind of his just, what are you doing?
Mhm.
The 17, there is a moment where, and I'm going to give this to you specifically, nobody else, where to know for it.
Oh, I got
where-
16.
16, yeah, sorry. Where moments before he asks that question about what your intentions with the spiders are, there is this kind of little twitch that he gets. Just his head just twitches ever so slightly before he then asks you that question, and then after there's an answer delivered, he sort of twitches again. It's ever so slight. And Frey, upon revealing what is going on with your friend, at that moment, Zar sort of puts her hands on the table, scrapes the seat back, and sort of stands up. It's like, "Excuse me, I'm feeling tired," and walks out of the room and into what you assume is a bedroom.
So sorry, I'm a little bit curious, but when did you meet Tsar?
Hmm.
Oh, Zar's been here for a while. Nice. I don't know, it sort of feels like Zar's always been here. I know she hasn't. I remember the day she came into the village, but I couldn't tell you when that was.
Hmm. And you said she's running from other fell-blooded that have...
People who persecute the Fell-Blooded.
Right.
Yeah. They take one look at her appearance and the way she carries herself, and they tend to be, well, violent towards her. People
It's very
not
unfair.
understanding.
We're all allowed to be different.
Exactly. I mean,
That's you, right?
he sort of looks towards where she left, and he sort of gets this sad look. It's like, she's a lovely person. I wish she'd open herself up more. People get to know her.
No one should be persecuted upon how they look.
No.
Have you ever seen her appear differently, or does she always look as she does now?
She's always pretty much been like that, I guess. Different how?
I have this sense sometimes when I enter a place where I can feel certain types of magic. It just settles on me, and I was
Andy?
sometimes it's truly terrifying. It is something I'm still getting used to. So I mean no offense. It just came
No,
over
none
me,
taken.
and a lot of emanating from her, like absolutely pulsing from her, was illusionist magic. And I find it strange that someone so persecuted for how they look would choose to look like that if they can use that kind of magic, if they are using that kind of magic.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I mean,
It-
no disrespect.
No, none taken. I'm sure if she got to know you or was a little more open, she would explain it to you herself. She constantly projects an aura that tries to make her harder to notice. I imagine that's probably what you have sensed. It's something that she's developed naturally over time. I mean, we're all born with a little bit of magic in our veins. I guess hers is a little more prominent. I've never really seen her appear any differently, but sometimes she is a little hard to notice. She's managed to discover a way, I think, to, over time, with people harassing her, to discover that it's easier just to kind of blend in and not be seen.
I imagine persecution would make one do that. I just had not noticing her, so it was a little puzzling to me.
And occasionally she sneaks up on me and I don't see her. Maybe it's because I'm used to her being around. Who knows?
Just so you're aware, DM, I'm just going to be
Yep.
on hyper fucking vigilant alert, like
Okay.
when
Yep.
in this town and area, because something is off and
Yep.
she
No, fair
is
enough.
not comfortable.
If it's feeling like something is off, nope,
Face
that's
spider.
completely understandable. What was that, Frey?
Secretly face spider territory.
Yeah,
Ooh.
does she walk like a spider when she leaves? Does she make little
She did skitter.
noises?
She skittered and she
did
chittered at it.
skittered. We made comments about skittering.
And chittering. She is
And
the
chitter.
matriarch.
I
She
think
did splash into the water though.
I
Like there
think-
was a splashing sound
Yeah.
before.
I think we are all, somewhat tense. It has been a long walk today, and we came across the sad sight that we did.
Understandable.
So we potentially should turn in and just not let our minds run wild or rampant about, a person we barely know, or the whole situation.
That's understandable. Thank you for being understanding. I know it's possibly an odd-looking situation, but we all live in odd times occasionally.
This is not the first foul blood that we have met. So
And we have found them nothing but delightful, so we have not got prejudice against them.
Well, I wish she'd open up a bit more, because she is. But it takes time to get to know her, to break through that. And if you guys are moving on, I don't imagine you'll have the time to do so, which is a shame. But you are
maybe on the
welcome
way
here.
back, but
Yep, you're welcome here for as long as you would like, as often as you would like.
thank
That
you
is
for your
very kind.
hospitality.
Insight check.
Okay. Please.
Are we actually allowed
Please.
to leave, DM?
Yeah, no, you are. I mean, that was it. That was where I was about to go with that. Is he's going to excuse himself to start cleaning up.
14.
14.
And I'm gonna watch him, like,
Right.
if he touches that knife,
Okay.
just out of the corner of my eye.
The whole
So,
house
I mean-
explodes.
He seems genuine about having an open sort of a place. You guys can stay as long as you like. You can come and go as often as you like. He's like he seems to be very, very open and honest about it. As he does sort of excuse himself to clean up, yes, he does touch the knife, but that is he'd put it aside to sort of once after he rinsed it and dried it. Now he's just putting it away. So he's just cleaning up. He's taking
Frey
the
would
empty
offer
plates or the
help.
half full plates, depending on whether you all consumed your meal or not. Vander, I imagine, has either emptied his bowl or not, but he gives Vander a little scritch before, taking a bowl and putting that away. He also, just generally sort of cleans up after himself and says to you that he's going to be up early in the morning. So if I'm up before you, excuse me if I'm not here, but I won't be difficult to find.
That is okay. We can feed ourselves in the morning.
Feel free to wash up, and we'll leave some more of the bread sitting out to help yourself in the morning. There's a little bit of stew left over, but it probably won't be warm. And you may head off to do as you wish for the evening. For the night, really.
Okay. We
Oh
I-
no.
I go to rest.
So are you all off to bed?
I kind of tell Sickett, there was a big fight today. Time to rest. Okay? Turn brain off. I can see it is firing at 100 flames a second. Okay? It's just turn it off.
Hang on, I'm just looking up one thing.
I love that. I'm constantly looking things up, so I know what that feels like.
No, you're right, sister. Yes, you are quite correct. That's brain. I need to switch off for a bit.
Is that... Are you... Okay, if I see Hetty later, I'll know what you meant by that.
I mean, it has been a little while, and she is antsy.
Oh, she missed out on the whole fight.
Oh, she was not really that impressed. I did have to remind her of previous encounters.
I bet.
But I'm sure you won't see her tonight.
You cannot go out by yourself.
No,
Hetty.
I won't leave by myself. It is fine.
Mm. Just because the other one is in your mind does not mean you're actually with someone, you know? I just want to point that
I
out.
mean, technically it
There is
does.
not another
There's
physical...
two of us.
No, there's not another physical person in that space at that time to help you
But
out of the sticky situation.
two brains are better than one. You have
I-
often said this to me. But look, if it makes you feel better, I will not go out of this premises tonight on my own.
You're lying. I appreciate the
not
fact that
lying.
you're trying to learn to lie.
I am not. I don't lie like you do. I am not good with words. Hetty, maybe. She's a little shadier than some. Me, no. Like, she keeps going back to this
Go.
innocent, what she thinks is an innocent looking grin,
Yep.
but it's that
So
shit-eating
obvious.
grin
It's a
that
So
shit-eating,
comes-
yeah.
obvious.
Smug as fuck, yeah.
I will stay awake till you get back. I go into a room.
I'm
The room
not-
they indicated earlier.
Why would she not believe me? I've set up in the bathtub. I'm not leaving the premises. But she's gonna go to the bathtub, turn into Hetty, and go invisible.
Yep. That's what I got.
To last for an hour. Okay. So are you all resting for the night then?
Yes.
All right. You may take your long rest.
I need Vanta to sleep.
Well, true, yes. Freyalise,
Mhm.
you have a jumbled series of dreams tonight.
Oh, lovely.
Like, there are all sorts of weird flashes of images of things that you have encountered recently that all just seem mixed together in a weird collage that doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
One thing sticks out to you, though, amongst all of these different images clashing and colliding. And it's winter. Your centaur, you know, head of the order of the Heavenly Triad, galloping across a snow-driven plain. So his white body merges almost seamlessly with the snow. He's not injured. He looks very healthy. You know, his beard's sort of trailing along behind him as he gallops full tilt. He's almost smiling. And then you see that on his back is Suatha, who has her arms tied tightly around his neck and has a look of pure joy as the wind and the snow is just streaking into her face and leaving these droplets that then immediately fly off behind her. and following along behind them, some distance away, you see a snow panther charging along in Winter's wake. Not chasing, just following. And then there's a blur, a shift, and that snow panther becomes Glaive, who leaps up into the air and becomes a winter owl, who then just starts flying ahead of them. And as your view sort of shifts on out, you see in the distance, across beyond the sort of snow horizon, you see 3 moons in their triangle shape. There is no red or no nearer, but hovering behind that, larger than the horizon and the moons themselves, you see the silhouette that you associate with the Keeper of Winter. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you, but out of anything that you dream that night, that image sticks with you.
Oof.
I also now require all 3 of you
Oh no.
Fuck.
to make Constitution saving throws, please.
We're going in the basement,
Did you
kids!
get... Go to the...
Wait, was Hitty going anywhere invisible, or we're just going
I don't
invisible?
know.
for that?
Well, you
She
were?
was- yeah.
Okay, that was why I was asking if you were resting for the night.
Oh, that's why I
Okay, no,
didn't
yep,
respond to that. But...
We'll do that first then. Yes? Sorry.
Yeah, she was slipping invisible so she could go check out Zara's room.
Okay, so
And
you're
check
invisible in the
out
last for an
the
It's
house.
just covered in webs.
so you're
Oh,
invisible in
God.
the last for an hour, correct? Okay, so you're doing that as soon as you go invisible, or are you
As soon
waiting?
as I go invisible, I made
Okay.
like all the noises of someone settling down in the bathtub. You know that has
Right.
the high sides.
Okay.
My pack is like got a blanket over it, and a shawl over it, just to look like somebody
Make
asleep
look
in
like
the
she's
bathtub.
still sleeping there. Oh, yep. Okay.
You know.
So there is still a light on in the main room, and you do hear the sounds of Olwen still cleaning up after dinner. You can move. You know the door that Zar went through? If you want to move through, you will have to make a stealth check with advantage because you are invisible. You're not silent, you just can't be seen.
Stage zone!
I love shenanigans.
Yay!
18.
Oh, Hitty.
18. Yep. You sort of go through the door, and the sounds of cleaning up have stopped, or are stopping as you do that. And you see that Olwen's sort of, he's bringing the lights in the room down, and he's enjoying the last little bit of his pipe, sitting at the table, just having a moment of quiet for the evening before he heads off to bed himself. He very much does not notice you. I rolled a 4. His passive is nowhere near high enough to see a 17.
18.
So 18, my apologies. I always seem to be one number out, but I know that, yeah. It's hitting me.
Oh.
But you make your way through to where you saw Zarko. And whilst her door was closed, you do manage to open it if that is your wish. Okay. You open it and the room beyond is dark. Now, as Hetty, and the fact that you are a changeling, I don't think you have dark vision, do you?
No.
So you cannot see into that room. There is no light source within. The light from behind you has been dimmed down to the point where you can only see a few feet beyond the door, unless you want to swing it wide open. But all you see is just a little bit of carpeted floor in front of you. You can't see any further into the room.
I want to kick into all my senses. So, what do I hear? What do I smell? Is there a taste in the air?
All right, I'm going to make this an investigation setup instead of a perception, because you're using all of your senses to just, oh, that's a good look. Oh, what you got?
Oh, I was just excited because her investigation's a 6 plus 6.
Oh.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah,
Because it's Hetty and she's
it's Hetty, not
sneaky.
Sicket. That's correct, yes.
Oh.
Alright.
So she got a 21.
Woo!
Ooh.
Okay. With a 21.
Yeah.
The room beyond smells a little bit of dried leather, old sweat, a little bit of dirt. The sort of things you would imagine from a small village that deals with fish and a man who seems to spend his time with horses.
Does it seem like his bedroom?
There's no sound from beyond. You can hear the water of the lake outside, but you can't hear anything in that room.
Not even like a breathing.
Nothing. There's no from what you are picking up, there is no sound in that room. You can hear Olwen at the table, not far from where you are. You can hear him breathing and just sucking on his pipe and blowing out and enjoying it. You can even hear just the water of the Seven Lords Lake outside. You know, there's sort of the quiet chirping of insects and bits and pieces all around. But from this room, there's no breathing, there's no snoring, there's no sleeping sounds. You pick up those smells, and that's it. You can't see anything. Unfortunately, there's just no sound at all for you to pick up on.
I want to have my back against the wall so I have a point of reference and just slowly walk along using like my hands and feet to make sure I don't crash bang into anything.
So you are going into the room?
I am.
Okay. So the door opens, so you'll have to go around to the left. As you go through, I would like for you to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Now these second would be good at.
Lyrians, I like to trust my players. So I typically just let them do rolls and tell me what the results are.
Yeah, I said we like it when it goes bad as much as when it goes well.
Mistakes and failures are
Make the
as much
game.
fun, if not more fun, than successes. So yeah.
Or
I
you
play
just
with a
do
group
a
of
me
people
and you
that-
try and roll
Uh-oh.
minimally because no Fritz sucks.
All right. How
It is a distinctly midline.
No
He, on
Fritz
the other
rolls
hand,
between
rolls
8
under 10.
and 12. That's your range.
exceptionally mediocre, please.
Mediocre, not mediocre. It
What was that, Vinny?
is a 9.
A 9. You step into the room, and it is still very dark. Again, if you're not opening the door all the way, there's no light for you to see. You don't have dark vision. And you begin sort of with your hands out and the wall behind you and off to the side. You sort of begin moving along. And about 1.5 feet, 2 foot in, you suddenly... You're stuck. Like, you found yourself stuck up against something. You're not sure what, but it's actually against the wall. You've actually found yourself stuck in place. You can't move.
Does it feel web-like?
Would you like to investigate it with your hands?
Yes.
Oh.
And your hands immediately stick to a web-like substance.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
I said I was waiting up for her to finish.
As Hetty,
Oh,
she has message.
oh, you do? Good, good.
What?
Sydney, hello. Pick a caller.
As Hetty, she has message, and she's like, "So, Alfred, you know how I wasn't going to leave? I am still on the premises and quite stuck in a web-like substance in Zaz's room. It is very dark. Please help."
I just want to point out that I was right.
I would like to point out that I did not lie at all. Second did not lie. But please, save my ass now. Fine.
Your ass is currently stuck to the wall.
I can just picture this little Hetty
Oh.
shape, like, Shit.
Oh, fuck.
Well,
So,
that's yeah. Coming.
okay.
Wow.
What would you like to do, Nofrit?
Do we want to do it this time, or do we want to do it next time?
I was about to say, we do have Little Man back with cricket. We can
So cute.
leave it there with Hetty having sent Nofrit a message while her ass is stuck to a wall by a web in the dark. And Olwen is sitting in the room smoking a pipe. Or you can attempt to deal with this situation here and now. I leave it up to you guys.
No,
I'm
because
okay.
I would
but-
wake Frey and Vander.
Okay. So in that case, none of your dreams happened yet, Freylis.
Yeah, not yet.
I was hoping to get back to that point, but that's okay. Okay. So that's where then, if you guys want to, we will leave it there. With Hetty currently in a dark room, trapped by webs. And hey, I
Good
guess you guys
times.
may or may not have found the spiders you've been hunting.
Oh boy.
You know, I suspected. I just want to say, I was suspicious the whole time.
We were all kind of suspicious. We were like, these guys are
Wait,
all
Wilson.
like this is beyond lake chill, right?
You know, Frey wasn't suspicious, but me as a player, I was like, I don't know.
They're being so nice.
No.
They don't recognize people like a day from their town, coming from the town direction. Then
Oh,
something
you
about
know,
the food.
we need to also forget in the next week that we have a Constitution saving throw sitting there when we go to sleep.
Just let it be known that Sekit didn't eat very much.
That's
Oh,
fine.
no.
Doesn't matter. It's in there.
Everybody apparently partook of the food. Whether of
Yeah.
well, I say food. Everybody partook of something. Whether in a small amount or a large amount.
Just don't sleep.
Oh, no, please, that is an option because we all know
God.
what not sleeping does. That leads
Yeah,
you
it
to
gives you
exhaustion.
exhaustion.
And I'd love for you guys to go delving into a spider's den with a level of
Exhausted.
exhaustion. That'd be great.
Ah, no.
Amazing.
Also, Evan Fried, I believe you are the Overlord of Demons. Hello, Overlord of Demons. It's been a while. Thank you for popping in again.
Yes.
I
man.
just love that Hetty does so much shenanigan-y stuff, and Sekit was so suspicious, and of course it's fucking Hetty stuck in a spider web.
I
I
don't
mean-
know if that's better or worse though,
It
because
wasn't
Hitty
even
has
hard, but you rolled
magic.
9.
Hitty has
Well, like,
magic to
the
get
idea
out.
being that you were going to notice the webs but not get stuck, but you rolled a 9. So
I
you
did.
it's just
We
stuck
traced
against
our
the wall.
dice. We
Oh, God.
play whatever the dice say because I knew that was
I
going to
love
end so
I love
poor.
it. This is what I mean. Failures
what
are
you've
as much, if
done?
not more
It's
fun.
so good.
You know what you've done though? Vander doesn't get a long rest, and he's still pretty messed up from the fight.
It's not my
I
fault.
mean,
No, it's not your fault. To be honest, I actually still have a lot of stuff. I didn't use too many spells in that last combat. So.
I actually did not get hit in that last one. I didn't.
No,
Hey,
but you've
I
used
took
a lot of
no
your
damage.
abilities, your daily abilities, right?
Used to rage.
I
That's
used one rage. I've got
You've
3
used
of those
You
now.
would use
okay.
one rage, and today you used one magical awareness. That's it.
And I get like 3 of each.
Wouldn't it be great if Sekit was an arachnophobic person? And Hetty was like, oh, Sekit, you need to shut up in the back of my brain right now. I need to concentrate.
Bring up the thing is, if you guys had taken much of a closer look at Zar, like actually wanted to take a closer
Well,
look
the
at her,
hair thing was putting me off, because that's what spiders have, is the hair thing.
she had scales with little bits of hair coming out from it. Her skin was very chitinous.
And she had red eyes.
Yeah.
Spindly arms, red eyes, and even her hair with the blue-white sheen. I don't know if you guys are familiar
what the
with D&D phase spiders, but guess what color phase spiders are in D&D?
Bitches.
I laid it all out for you.
You really
It was
did.
great.
And in some ways, it's good that Vander wasn't here, because he would have figured it out.
It was great.
But the
I love
thing is,
this.
you described
Why?
everyone as spindly and fucking.
He used all the right words.
here.
Yeah, her
I-
specifically.
I really
And-
love.
I hate
But-
spiders.
But
Yeah, same.
Hetty may not be
For the next
arachnophobic,
couple episodes in Lyrians.
but she spent years trapped in a head. She's.
Mhm. This is gonna trigger her.
This is so triggering for Hetty. That's why she immediately like. Come
You are.
help me. Like,
Hitty is in a dark, quiet space with very little light, and there's no sound in that room. You can hear Olwen outside, and you are stuck and actually against a wall, and you can't pull free. I mean, you'll be able to make a check to try and break free next time, but
Right.
And if worse comes to worse, she's gonna fucking break out Second, who's got some muscle and is automatically a different shape. So
Yep.
will help leverage. But at the moment, Hetty's
How
quietly
about no?
panicking. She's like panicking.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Lyrians, I'm sorry.
I honestly
I had
love.
a warning for my players before the campaign began that unfortunately there might be things that will make people a little uncomfortable, and I always
Yeah.
said if there is anything ever crops up for my players that they are not okay with, all they need to do is let me know. So far, they've allowed me to just go nuts with things.
Yep.
So
To be
But-
fair, he's such a good DM that he tends to read us when we freak out, or he talks to us and actually catches it before it
Yeah.
becomes a problem.
I try to. I've had moments where I've had people go, "Oh, it's like yeah, sure."
I guess we'll wrap here.
mean,
It's
what?
been nearly 3 hours. And
God, imagine if you guys had decided not to go to Darwin instead.
oh, and just wander into the wilderness like we'll find it eventually.
It was marked on your map.
Yep.
Yep,
Well-
the place you needed to go was marked on your map, but you guys wanted to go to Darwin. It's like, hey, cool, that was exactly what you were told to do. So thank you for doing
So the,
exactly what
the
you were told to do. Because
twitching
DM
was-
players don't do that.
The twitching was her psychically manipulating him to ask questions about why we needed this stuff. So she knows exactly what we're here to harvest.
You guys straight up said what you were here to do.
I personally
You're-
didn't.
You know,
So-
I love playing a naive character that
It's real
doesn't
fun.
really have any distrust
I
in
mean,
any.
look, the question was asked because there was a general curiosity on what you guys were there to do. And then you made it very clear that you were here to harvest specific materials. And that got a reaction.
Just give us the webs, you stinkers.
Look,
You stinkers. You
there were
actual
comments
stinkers.
made in that conversation about killing bandits, about killing things, and about how you had a friend who was in this, and so you needed these things for a ritual. The thing being, you don't know what Zara's disposition truly is, but
No.
hearing those things, you can't tell me that somebody is not going to have a negative reaction to hearing those things one after another, and to go, oh, these guys want something from me.
Mm.
Nope.
But
Yeah.
Sekit did, when he said kill the spiders, Sekit actually corrected him and said just trying to get the ingredients. She actually made a distinction between killing and harvesting.
Not
Yeah,
wrong.
it was noted, but it was at that point it had already been mentioned about the killing of bandits and this and that, and there was just enough of her being on edge and being skittish that it was kind of like, Yeah.
Haphazardous. Welcome to the Bexploration. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Bexploration. Here,
I can't hear it, but I'm dancing
with
anyway.
us right now. Please check out Quinesta. who's
No,
our
don't,
Dungeon
it's trash.
Master. Go check out Quinesta on here on Twitch. You can also check out Lord Kaiser, who is currently absent today, but is a great person, great streamer. They're moving house currently, that's why they couldn't play today. And then check out Vixen as well, twitch.tv.
yeah.
Um,
I'm sure I will twitch again soon, but I have a small person and he makes it. Whoop!
oh,
Okay.
there he is.
Okay.
Well timed.
So I don't know how we're placed, but maybe
Yeah, the fish was because
next-
our friend was absent.
because he wasn't here. Yeah. So I don't know whether we can hit up next week. We'll have a conversation about that. If not, it'll be the week following.
Ah,
Okay.
I'm feeling a lot better today. Went very well, and I can already feel my energy
I'm
down and my throat going. So
Yeah.
I'm quite happy
Our
to
great
leave it there.
thing is gonna go because I really
No.
need a pee, so I started it already. Go check out Ting cosplay. He's great. Friend of
Hey,
mine,
we love Ting.
and he's playing some Monster Hunter Rise. So go say hi from us. Hi, Pacitus. Welcome to the Big Exploration. We'll see you hopefully later. And peace out for now. Bye.